Eagle 98.1 Game Day is on. Presented by your local Super Chevy dealers and Yingling Flight. This is LSU football.
This time, Nussmeier back in the gun. They'll bunch 4 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left, looking to throw left, and they throw to Trey'Dez Green. He's got the catch. Touchdown, LSU. Snap in the hands of Nussmeier, looking to unload. Fires it deep down the field, looking for Hilton. Diving catch in the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
LSU football on Eagle 98.1, the flagship home of the Tigers. Tonight from Tiger Stadium, it's the LSU Tigers and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Now, here's Charles Hanagriff and Matt Musso.
I'm Charles Hanagriff along with Matt Musso and our entire staff at the flagship as we get you ready for the kickoff of tonight's home opener between the LSU Tigers and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. The Tigers come into tonight's game at 1-0 following a 17-10 victory at Clemson last week. LSU's ranked number 3 in the nation by the AP, number 4 by the coaches, and the Tigers received first-place votes in each poll. The win was significant. In addition to snapping a 5-game losing streak in openers and a personal 3-game skid for Brian Kelly, the victory showcased the reasons for the optimism that flowed out of camp. LSU's remade defense made life miserable for Clemson and quarterback Cade Klubnik, allowing only 1 touchdown drive and 0 points in the second half. The Tigers played well on all 3 levels, and the depth that LSU enjoyed showed up with fresh legs in the fourth quarter. Furthermore, newcomer Mansour Delane was awarded a game ball by the staff for a great day in coverage that included an interception, and Harold Perkins closed the game with a play that very few players can make. On offense, the remodeled offensive line more than held up, keeping Garrett Nussmeier protected enough to earn him SEC Player of the Week honors. The game plan of offensive coordinator Joe Sloan helped out, giving Nussmeier plays that called for him to get the ball out quickly. The run game provided the balance, showed some creativity, and LSU seemed to be getting better as the game went on. The Tigers got to 1-0. That's a goal they've had on the board since last January. The win will almost certainly hold up as a signature victory all season, but starting in about 5 hours, it won't help them on the field. LSU's aiming to go 1-0 every single week. Louisiana Tech also comes in with a record of 1-0, playing a non-conference game. The Bulldogs beat Southeastern last week 24-0 to open the year. It's been a tough road for head coach Sonny Cumbie, who enters his 4th year in Ruston. Tech has gone 3-9, and 5-8 in his first 3 campaigns. However, the Bulldogs have been picked as high as 2nd in Conference USA this season. They face an uphill climb tonight as a large underdog on the road against a team brimming with confidence. And so it's been a giddy week here in Baton Rouge. I use the word giddy. Everybody's having. I sneezed in the parking lot here last week, and somebody from 3 rows over said, "God bless you."
Yeah.
Everybody's in a great mood because that win kind of put everybody in a position to think that this season can really be something special.
The vibes have been high all week for sure. Haney, this is the first time you and I get to sit here week 2 and do a show after a win. I'm pretty fired up for that. We get to have different conversations about LSU going into a game against a lower opponent. It's not, hey, what can they do to get back on track? It's, hey, how can they keep this going? Can they bring the same energy? Obviously stay healthy. That's huge here tonight for sure. But this is, I don't want to say new, but it does kind of have a feeling of newness because it's just been so long. And, man, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get going with it.
The optimism from me personally is that this team played very well in a difficult situation last week, and there is room for improvement. I think that there is room for this team to grow. I think there's some young players that acquitted themselves quite well that'll only get better. So when you start at a high level and you have room to get better, that to me is the biggest thing. And then the second thing is, throughout college football, I didn't look across the landscape. It's week 1, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
But I didn't look out there and see anybody that looked like Alabama's best team under Nick Saban, or Clemson's best team under Dabo Swinney, or Urban Meyer's Ohio State team. I see a lot of good teams. I'm not sure I see a great one. It's September, okay? But that's the other part, is that when I look across college football, I don't see anybody that's necessarily better than LSU.
It feels pretty wide open. You know what I'll add to your point about the game and then only being able to get better? It felt like they were so much more prepared this time. I mean, you just look look at how they utilized the offensive line. They got the ball out quick. They put them in advantageous spots. I mean, a couple years ago when they're struggling in these openers, that wasn't always the case. So that part was great, too, and just, again, fuels the excitement and the optimism for this team.
We're ready to get the home opener underway. We've got a big show planned for you today, so we're glad that you're with us. We are at the corner of Burbank and Lee at Rouse's, your game day headquarters. They want to help you cover the spread, your spread for your tailgating needs. Stop in at Rouse's, just a few miles away from Tiger Stadium. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Skull Session. Offense. Presented by Gulf Coast Bank. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you. Now from the LSU Sports Radio Network, here's Gordy Rush.
Baton Rouge, your game day headquarters. Musso, did I tell you everybody was in a good mood this week? This was such a big win that Gordy Rush decided to show up on set today for the pregame show. Gordy, it's good to see you.
It's good to be here. I love this Rouse's location. I was going to get a Yuling flight here for the road before the game. A beverage.
You got nice weather. It's not too bad out there. You're doing well here.
It's good. I think everybody's in a good mood after last week.
It's been a real fun week to be around Baton Rouge and be around the LSU program. All right, let's start with what went right, because most of what they did last week went right. The game plan was to get the ball out of Garrett Nussmeier's hands, check, to protect this offensive line, this remade offensive line, to have a little bit of balance, a little bit of creativity in the run game. Gordy, they did a lot of things on offense that looked real good.
Yeah, a lot of different personnel groupings and a very creative way, as you said, to get the ball to playmakers, get them to very quickly in space to make some plays. One thing that really jumped out at me was the use of 13 personnel, right? One running back, 3 tight ends. We saw Green play a lot of football games, and it wasn't always standard. A lot of times at back-to-back plays, they ran both Sharp and Green out as wide receivers and put Juwan Johnson behind them. It's glorified toss sweep. Yep. Flipped it, ran it back the other way. I thought they did a great job with that. Obviously, a lot of personnel groupings. There was some, had to blow some timeouts. They had a couple alignment issues and some penalties in the first half. They cleaned it up in the second half, but really encouraged with the direction, I think, offensively, conceptually, what they're trying to do.
Chris Hilton caught one ball in the game, and Barry and Brown, the one that they called back. But I thought, and you can tell me what you saw on film, but Clemson was in too high almost exclusively all night. This is the product of the speed that LSU now has on the outside that has to be respected. You know what look you're going to get. If they get the one time they got single high, they went after it, and well, Brown made the play, but they called it back. So you have that. That's the impact. Even though LSU didn't throw the ball down the field, I thought that Hilton and Brown's impact was the presence out there that forced them to play like that.
You're exactly right, and I saw that at Clemson, and I was really surprised that Tom Allen, that came from Penn State, who's notorious, really known for being very aggressive, a lot of unique, exotic looks, was sitting with those 2 safeties on the hash. That's something we didn't see a year ago because nobody really respected LSU speed. He did his homework, and he knew who was new on the roster and what they could do. And because of that, you were able to run the football and get those high percentage passes out, the little quick stop routes out on the perimeter.
I love the design on the touchdown to Trey-Dez Green. They go with a diamond formation up to the top, and they go with Green by himself on the bottom. Clemson's got to make a decision here. They can either single cover Green, and then they have enough numbers at the top, or they can double cover Green. They don't have enough. So either way, LSU's put them in a bind. And Trey-Dez Green, we talk about the matchup nightmare, they went to that. The other 2 times they went to him, he drew pass interference penalties.
No, I love that. And you're exactly right. Quads to the right, and so it's 4-on-4 out there. And then the question now becomes that linebacker. Are you going to leave the linebacker in the middle of the field or to by himself to essentially spy Nussmeier as the quarterback, or are you going to run a double at Green? What do you do? If you go run the linebacker out there, the Nussmeier's going to run a quarterback draw and score. So, again, I think they had all off season to talk about it. I forgot Tim Rattay was on staff, and obviously nobody found a way more. When he was at Louisiana Tech and had Troy Edwards, I mean, they had those prolific offenses. Atkins comes in from Florida State. Look, a lot of creativity, and they took the body of work that they ran at last year and said, what can we do differently? The addition of the tight ends are huge, and then when you have 8 wide receivers, from big to small to really fast, you can do a lot of stuff.
By the way, when Rattay was in college, we were doing pre-game.
I know. I know, Charlie. We're both just starting to gray a little bit.
We've been at yourselves. Oh wow! By the way, Nussmeier runs the ball 4 times, 3 of them for first downs, and I was so happy that he went under center for the 2 sneaks. I'm watching Baylor and SMU here a little while ago, and it's 4th and less than a yard, and there's Baylor, 5.5 yards deep in the gun, hand the ball to the running back. He gets stuffed 2 yards behind the line. Dave, what are you doing?
I hate it, right?
Huh?
I hate it ironically. I hate the fact that everybody's doing that. It was so refreshing that LSU did it, and ironically, Tony Franklin's the offensive coordinator tonight for Louisiana Tech, and you remember he got fired at Auburn in week 2 in that 3-2 ball game against Mississippi State. It was a 4th and something, and he ran like a toss or a quarterback toss from the shotgun because he didn't believe in going under center. You got to be able to go get it, and then just for Nussmeier to run 2 or 3 times just to keep people honest.
Yeah. Right.
You don't need to be Jane Daniels just 2 or 3 times. I think changes the game a little bit. As a defensive coordinator, I was like, I just can't leave him naked all the time.
When we watched the end zone cut of the 10-yard run that he made, we stopped it, and it's like the hole was so gigantic, and Richard Dixon said, how far do you think Jaden Daniels would have run with that hole. I said to Atlanta.
Yeah.
It would have never stopped. All right, let's flip sides and talk about the defense here a little bit. I thought that the rotations would allow LSU to have fresh legs in the fourth quarter. That happened. They throw a shutout in the second half. My mother calls me at halftime and says, "Who's 88?" And so he's living in the backfield. Peyton, I thought the pressure on the interception.
Right.
They were able to get by without A.J. Halsey in the first half. I thought Jordan Gilbert really held his own.
Healthy, you see what a healthy Gilbert looks. Still has that shoulder, that strap on a little bit, but certainly he's healthy, and it wasn't healthy a year ago. I thought he played well.
Let me ask you about DJ Pickett. Mansour Delane got all of the flowers this week, and rightfully so. He had the pick. He had a terrific game. Really excited about him. And then somebody asked me before we got to the post game, did Pickett play tonight? And I'm like, you know what? I didn't notice him. And when I don't notice cornerbacks, sometimes that's a good thing because they targeted one time. He didn't give up a play. Gordy, you were down on the field. He was out there for 2 dozen snaps.
Yeah, I thought he probably played 30-25% of the snaps, and they went some nickel. And there were some different times that he jumped in. I saw him once out of a double cut, and that's something that nobody takes a look at. A double cut, basically, a choice route. They'll go in and come back out. And he's at 6'5" and still has the hip mobility to stay with the guy. He was really, really impressive. And we know how good Ashton Sampson is, and Ashton Sampson didn't play a snap in the defensive secondary. I'm sure that's going to change at some point. That's how good Woodland, and Pickett were in that game and have been good through fall camp.
That's my favorite stat out of camp is you're looking at somewhere between 80 and 95 starts for guys that are now on the second team across the board on this defense.
It all came together, I think, for me in the right words last week before I came on with you guys. I was watching Game Day, and Nick Saban said, LSU has 18 transfers with 6 or more starts from top 4 programs, Power 4 programs, Power 4 conferences. And you know what? It hit me at that point, and he said, what does that look like? And you said, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks damn good.
Yeah.
And that's because I had a chance to go see the scrimmages and to see the practices. And, I think you bring up Bernard Good, and that's just, I think, an example of a storyline that it's just not what you saw on Saturday. It was watching camp and seeing how vocal he was, and you were out there. You got a guy 6'1", 270 that got passed over by the bigs because he didn't fit he wasn't the height and the size and all that stuff. He probably played in front of 20 to 25,000 people in Raymond James Stadium each and every week in games that nobody saw unless you were on ESPN Plus or wherever it was. And that guy was so damn hungry and excited to get paid to play at LSU to achieve his dreams, and was the loudest guy out on the practice field all fall camp. He was the most physical, I think one of the more physical guys, along with Pyburn out there, and he set the tone for what had been a really young roster the last couple of years. When you think about newbies, freshmen, and sophomores, and he's just an example of the people like Pyburn, like Sharp, that came in and gelled with the leadership that they have. And I think that was the confidence you saw with Brian Kelly. And for me, personally, after watching it, I was like, they went and got some grown men.
Yeah.
They're not only good football players, but grown men.
He got in July. He was the last guy they added to the roster, and I remember thinking, everybody's on vacation, nobody's really paying attention. Like, they added another depth piece. Had no idea that he would be as impactful as he is. Let's talk about Harold Perkins. The last play of the game, I had to watch it 5 or 6 times when we ran it back from the end zone cut because I still couldn't believe what he did and where he came from. Gordy, when I watched it live, I thought he had spotted him because I said there's no way he could cut. He ends up coming from the other guard tackle gap to play what essentially is contained on the wide side of the field. And Klubnik had to be the most surprised guy in the stadium. Where'd you come from?
Yeah.
I know everybody's really excited that he's back in that playmaker's role, and that play ended the game.
What a great job Blake Baker's done with Harold Perkins. Obviously, he's 100% healthy, but here was a guy that when he came from Texas in high school, he was on the line of scrimmage, and he was just so dangerous that he could wreak havoc, and nobody really had an answer to defend for him. You get to the SEC, and a couple things. People would run 3 wides at him, right? And they turned him into a defensive back. You remember against Tennessee, when Tennessee came in here and beat him, he didn't even play. he's so much better in coverage. He's so much comfortable in coverage, whether it's man or zone in reading, being able to read curl the flat. That's a big piece that I've seen out of him. And more importantly, now that he's gone to that inside linebacker position, his instincts and his ability to be what we call an inside-out football player, like be able to run inside out and not overrun things, he's come light years. And again, I think it's a credit to his commitment and coming back off that injury and learning the position and Blake working with him. He's an every down football player. Now, he's just not a third down specialist. He can play in coverage when you need him to, and he can play on first and second down and diagnose the run plays.
All right, you're a special teams ace. Here's what I liked about last week. They made plays that were called back. They made mistakes in the special teams. 2 holding calls. They brought back returns. They failed to down a punt on the 3-yard line where he's put the ball right where he's supposed to. Kicker cramps up on a field goal and he misses. To me, all those things are fixable. I think they're going to be better on special teams. It was 2 freshmen playing their first game that were called for the holding penalties. Woodland's going to hold on to the ball the next time he's got a chance, and I don't expect Ramos to cramp up again. Gordy, I think there's so much speed that the special teams have infinite room to grow.
I laughed when I interviewed Coach Kelly before the game, and I think we might have talked about it in that last week. And I said, I remember when LSU, you were back there fair catching punts. He said, yeah, we were dropping them too.
Yeah, trying to find somebody who
right.
dropping
them
too.
Get out there and catch the ball.
I mean, now you have 3 of the top punt returners arguably in the conference. Back there, if you want to count Berrien Brown. Obviously, we know what he's done on the kickoff game. And I think they're just, there's a lot of anxiety, and it was the first game out. And I've been there on special teams, and sometimes you tried to do too much. And, when you're blocking on those punt returns, as good as those guys are, you just need to get in the way. Right? I mean, you got to know when to release that and get in the way, and it's up to them to make somebody miss. You're doing your job by just putting pressure on the guy and forcing that guy to run full speed. It's really hard for somebody running full speed to break down and make a play on one of those guys.
All right, let me ask you about Louisiana Tech. They won their opener last week against Southeastern 24-0. That sounds like a dominant score. It really was not. Southeastern out first down them, outgained them, had fewer yards in penalties, and turned the ball over 5 times in Louisiana Tech territory. So the Lions really should have been in this game a little bit. 2 of those turnovers were on downs. We're going to count those. All 5 of those drives ended in Louisiana Tech territory. So this could have been a lot closer game. Lions will be in here in a couple of weeks. This has been a rough go for Sonny Cumbie. I don't know if it's a budget thing, Gordy, but they don't seem like the same program since COVID, since the birth of NIL and things like that. They just don't. This at one point was a really, really solid program, capable of beating on the right Saturdays teams in the Southeastern Conference, and right now they look a notch below that.
Look, I didn't go any deeper in the film than watching this game. What jumped out at me is that, number one, the quarterback had 16 carries and completed 13 passes. And you have 2 air raid guys in there, and Cumbie, that's a Texas Tech quarterback that had success at TCU, and Tony Franklin, who's doing podcasts last time I checked, on the air raids for that, and you have stats that are coming out of your quarterback that way. And then we've been doing this a long time, I tell you, Musso. You're at Louisiana Tech, and your starting quarterback is from Saddleback Junior College in California, and your tailback's from Fort Lauderdale. You've got 80% of what you need down I-20 in North Louisiana, and you can dip in the state. If you can't build a program like that, that reminds me of a guy two coaches ago that was over at McNeese. Right, he was trying to get all Texas kids across, and you can go to Beaumont and dip into Houston if you're McNeese. Look at what Selfo's done and the success he's had at Southeastern. Look at what down at Nichols, they've had so much success with Louisiana kids. I mean, you're in one of the hotbeds of football in the South. You're talking about North Louisiana, and your quarterback's from Saddleback, and you got a tailback that is from Fort Lauderdale. So, I mean, it's just, to me, it's not a great match, and that story doesn't end well, and they're changing conferences next year.
I don't think you're giving Saddleback enough credit.
What?
I mean, that's a really good program.
It's a beautiful school. If we were at Cal Poly Slow, it'd be a great fit, but we're not.
All right. Have a great call, Gordy.
Thanks, guys.
And,
this is a great set, man.
Yes, yeah.
It's comfortable.
Gosh, I mean, you got Mongolian grill, like 20. I mean,
we
right?
have a buffet. We have a buffet here. That's why we tell people to come by.
G-Man and Carl the Cat eating cheese fries. We've come a long way, man.
It's pretty good stuff here at Rouse's. Come by and get your game day spread. They want to cover it for you here at Rouse's. Just turn left when you come into the grocery store here. Mongolian Grill, the Chop House, the bakery. Huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. You can get everything hooked up. They never run out of ice here at Rouse's. Come on by and get your game day spread. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
We typically
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The first block of games is winding down. We can tell you that Iowa and Iowa State are tied at 13. Illinois leading Duke 28-19. Bottom of the hour, Kentucky and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
With, some SEC action.
Week 2. Love it.
When you go to Tiger Stadium tonight, it may sound a little bit different. For the last, I guess close to 40 years, the voice of the PA in Tiger Stadium has been manned by Dan Bournet, except for last year when he missed with some health reasons. Tonight, Dixon McMakin takes over as the PA announcer in Tiger Stadium, and he joins us right now. Dixon, congratulations, and got to be a lot of excitement for you going out to Tiger Stadium tonight to take the mic.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Thanks for having me. Excited for tonight. Go Tigers.
All right. Tell me a little bit about the prep work that you did for this and going about the audition process and everything that went into getting a job here tonight.
Yeah, after Dan announced that he was retiring, LSU put out that send in a resume, send in a voice sample. If you make the top selection, we'll have you into the stadium for a selection committee. Went up there, did it in front of them over the past 5 years. I've been an announcer for LSU Athletics. Last year did full-time men's basketball, softball, volleyball, soccer, coaches committees, 2 spring games. So I've been on that mic before. So it won't be the first time on the mic, but will be the first time on the mic in front of 102,320 of my best friends with me. And prep work's just like normal Catholic High football game weekends or any other game weekends. Got my spotting boards, read the rosters, watched some videos, ready to go.
I saw a picture with you and Dan Bornay. I guess you took that at some point this week. Did he give you any advice? What did he have to say to you?
Yeah, that was great. Got to take Dan to lunch this week. Went over to Phil's Oyster Bar. You know, he told me 40 years ago him and Sid Crocker did the same thing in Baton Rouge. Went to lunch, talked it out, and Dan was very clear. Keep it simple, keep it concise. You know, Shakespeare once said, the play is the play. The game is the game. I'm not there to make my voice known, my name, or anything like that. Bring excitement when it's needed, relay the information, and make sure the fans have an incredible game day experience.
Did he tell you the story of Ask?
Oh, yeah.
Did he tell you that story?
No, sir, he did not.
So the story of Ask is, I've done, I don't know, half a dozen or more speaking engagements with Dan over the years, and he always says, well, how did you get the job? And he said, I asked, because in 1980.
Yeah, we've talked about that one before. Oh, yeah. So this one was a little bit different. You know, in 1985, not a lot of people even knew who the PA announcer was or what the person did. Stadium was much smaller. So I think there were a few more people that put in resumes this time than he did. But what a great story for anything you want in life, anything you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must come to pass, guys. I think you know that one too.
Yeah. You didn't do it in Skip's voice, but yes, I've definitely heard that one before. Anything special that you're planning for tonight? The first time. I don't want you to give anything away, but anything special you got planned for tonight?
Nothing special. Just want to be loud and be clear. That's the goal for Game 1. We're 1-0. We're playing Tech. Let's dominate on the field. Let's keep it clear on the mic. Then look forward to next week, Florida coming to town.
Dixon, kind of in that same vein, I mean, there's a lot of moments that are synonymous with Tiger Stadium and the PA and whatnot. And I mean, whether it's just the first touchdown or whatnot, is there one moment that you've been waiting for all week and you just can't wait to get on the mic and announce the first time?
Yeah, Moose, I'm ready just for the initial 47 minutes before kickoff. Welcome to Tiger Stadium. Get that one over with. Nerves will settle, and then it'll be clear sailing after that. So let's get that first live read ready to go and excited for that chance.
Dixon, enjoy the experience. I know it'll be a special night for you and your family, so enjoy that. We'll look forward to hearing you in Tiger Stadium, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all you do for LSU. Go Tigers.
All right, tonight, new voice on the mic. Also, we should say congratulations officially to Jacob Hester, who is now the official full-time color analyst for the LSU Sports Radio Network, taking over for Doug Morrow, who was, since I want to say 1970 something. Doug has been there, and Doug's a good friend and enjoyed a long run on the mic. He was fantastic. Talk about LSU through and through, and being replaced by a guy who's LSU through and through.
18.
So congratulations to Jake. He did a great job filling in when Doug was out last year, and he'll do a great job moving forward. He's on the show too, but we get him a lot of airtime. So
that's true.
He's got a lot of game day stuff going on, but congratulations to Jake. Here at Rouse's, our LaBerge Casino countdown to kickoff is about 4 hours and 30 minutes away, and they want to have you at ESPN Bet over at LaBerge, your game day headquarters. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've
98.1.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
WDGL and HD1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Scouting Report. Presented by Demco. Providing safe, reliable, and competitively priced energy services to co-op members since 1938.
98.1 Game Day live from the Rouses on Burbank and Lee, presented by your Super Chevy dealers and Yuengling. LSU La Tech just hours away here Saturday night in Death Valley. We'll kick off the home season with Tigers and Bulldogs. Right now, our scouting report, we turn to the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl. That's Drew Fabianich on Twitter X at DFabeSB. He joins us on the Hooters hotline. Drew, thank you for the time another week. How are you?
Hey, great, Matt. Always a pleasure to be on with y'all.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate the time, as always. And as you can imagine, vibes here are pretty high after what happened on Saturday. And I really wanted to hone in with you on LSU because I know y'all handed out some honors. We'll get to those guys individually. But first, I really just would, through your eyes, like an overview kind of what you saw from LSU on Saturday night against Clemson, because I know they were a team you were pretty high on coming into 2025.
Yeah, and they proved why, I was high, and proved that the value that we put on the players, that we actually put on our, Senior Bowl, top 300, was pretty valid. They did show up on offense, which I expected them to. The receivers that they had brought in transfer-wise showed up, and defense, Baker did a great job of scheming up Clemson, and they did some really nice things up front, but I think what stuck out was the play of the secondary and the coverage. So, again, a good overall complementary football was played by both, and, again, that's why they won the ballgame.
Let's start with that secondary. I tweeted out during the game that, man, it looked familiar. Like, that's kind of what the secondary has been accustomed to look like here in Baton Rouge, and, well, y'all responded as well. Mansour Delane, the Panini Senior Bowl Defensive Player of the Week. What stood out about number 4 in purple and gold?
Well, the coverage skills are there. Especially, what kind of sets him apart is he's got great foot speed, great coverability, but he's also got length, and he knows how to use his length. And what I mean by that is, not just playing the ball downfield, playing the ball at high point, but using his hands and press, collision points, and, just understanding that, again, the taller you are, the less foot speed you should have. Well, that's all relative to certain, people. Well, if you're that long and that tall and you still got, as we call them, little man's feet, that's a huge plus. And his coverability showed up, and he made plays exactly when he was supposed to make plays, which shows that, hey, he's probably a gamer and he's a competitor. And, and again, he showed up when he needed to show up, which was the big point that I made when we discussed who was going to be our player of the week. Who was most impactful? Well, he made, like I said, he made the plays to turn the game.
The interception was obviously huge from Delane, and you're right. I mean, the length and everything that
and the breakup.
Yeah, for sure. That fits exactly what Corey Raymond wants at the cornerback position. With a guy like Delane, obviously, look, it's 1 week. It's a long season. There's a long time until April in the draft, but he's going to face some really good receivers as this goes on. Did against Clemson, and that will only continue throughout the SEC. How high can Mansour Delane raise his draft stock this season? How important is it for him?
Well, I think it's very important for him. And again, coming down here and playing in our game would be a big thing for him too. Yeah. Getting in front of 32 teams, with as many personnel, to walk in this door, it's also important. But with him, I'd say he could probably bring himself up maybe upwards of 20 picks, maybe, and that's an enormous amount of money when you talk about a 4-year contract.
Let's switch to the other honoree from the Panini Senior Bowl this week, and that was, of course, quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. You touched on him a little bit a week ago when we spoke, just the long-standing relationship. You've known him for a while, what you like about him. It seemed like it was all on full display. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier showed everything you could really want. One thing that's been talked about here a lot is the management at the line of scrimmage from him in that ball game. What stood out to y'all?
Yeah, that did stand out. I mean, he made protection changes. I mean, he showed that he understands the game. I mean, which, he always has. He still got a little bit of that gunslinger in him, but he held it down. He managed it well. Like you said, he managed the line of scrimmage, but he also worked through his progressions really, really well. And that's what I like. I mean, when you're watching a quarterback, you're always watching. You love seeing the end zone shots because you love seeing where their eyes go and how the progressions actually work. And he did a great job with that. Didn't put the ball, in bad situations very often. Again, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he was really, really productive. But like I said, the biggest thing to me was the progressions. He worked through his progressions really, really well.
Let's look at the defense again and Harold Perkins. And Drew, look, I'm sure that you're aware. I mean, Harold Perkins has been a hot button issue here ever since he stepped on the field as a freshman in 2022. And it was, where do you play him? How do you move him around? Of course, he had the injury a year ago, a much anticipated return for him. And they were going to put him at the star position. And even some people here were split on that. But man, the returns were phenomenal. He was constantly in Cade Klubnik's face, had the sack, had the pressure and the hurry on the last play of the game as well when Clemson turned it over. Why does that position change fit Harold Perkins so well and kind of bring him back to what we got accustomed to his freshman season?
Well, I think that, and again, I had the misfortune of lining up against him as a freshman when I was at Auburn, and he was a wrecking crew that day. And I was like, I told people after that ball game, I said, now that young man, I said, he's special. And he's got a different skill set that a lot of people just don't possess. I mean, as Monty Kiffin would always say, I want big and fast. Well, guess what? It's exactly what you get with him. He's big and fast, and he can cover. He can come off the edge. He plays well in space. I mean, he's, again, you call those guys, unicorns because they can do so much. And I think that Coach Baker just did a great job of, using exactly the skill sets that he has. Don't ask him to do something that he won't be effective with, but taking advantage of what he does really, really well. And as a blitzer, he's a problem, whether it's outside or inside. So everybody's going to have to count for him every single week, and he's probably going to be toying with him like the Cowboys did with Micah Parsons, to be honest with you. They're going to move him all over the place.
That's what I was going to ask you because, I mean, that's obviously a big question, too. I mean, the size is what it is with a guy like Perk, and he's definitely suited better, in that pass rushing role. I mean, how does that project with a guy like him to the next level?
Well, I think he's probably going to project to an outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme, and which he will be, he will be a defensive end when they go to sub, when they go to a 4-2 look. but he'll probably end up being, like I said, an outside linebacker in first and second down. So that's where I think he'll project. Just because of the length and the size, I just don't think he's a defensive end, and I think you're wasting him if you're not, bringing him off the edge and blitzing him. I do. I think you're wasting the skill set.
Skill set was certainly, as we said, on display. 5 tackles, a sack, 1.5 TFLs, plenty pressure on Cade Klubnik all night. I mean, it was what everybody wanted to see. You couldn't have scripted a better return from Harold Perkins. Now he's got 11 more games at least to go out there and continue to raise the draft stock. We're talking with Drew Fabianich. He's the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl. Get him on Twitter, X at DFabeSB, Senior Bowl at Senior Bowl. Drew, I have a couple more for you. Your time very much appreciated. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball, and a player that maybe isn't getting as much hype coming out of the ball game, but that caught your eye and y'all are super excited about at the Senior Bowl.
Jack Byberg, hands down, not even close. If he continues on his track, he will be here in Mobile. There's no doubt in my mind. He's already physical. He's already really, really good with his hands. He's good coming off the edge. He's just got to develop, more of a toolbox as a rusher, but, loved the way he played. Really did.
That's what I was going to ask you, is about the pass rush. I mean, we've had him on our airwaves here plenty already in the offseason leading in, and he's always talked about wanting to become a dominant pass rusher. What's something more there that he needs to focus on to get to that level? That's what I meant by toolbox. He just needs to be able to hands better. He needs to get his hips cleared at the top of his rush, and right now he's kind of a speed to power guy, and, he's a quick counter guy. I just think he's just going to have to develop some later rushes and, get better with his hands initially. But, really like the way he played, though. Same question, but for the offensive side of the ball.
Again, I'm going to go back a little bit because I still have PTSD from this moment. When I watched Baron Brown's catch, for the touchdown, couldn't believe it was overruled because there was a man that made a catch similar to that that kept us from going to the Super Bowl against Green Bay, and that was Des Bryant. Yeah. And his catch was a catch, too. When you make a football move, when you change hands, when you control the ball, even with one hand, it's a catch. So I still don't understand, really don't. But, he made himself some money, just with that one catch. And it'll still be replayed whether it was ruled a catch or not, because it was spectacular. And it showed great body control and good hands.
You're singing to the choir here. No one's going to disagree with you on that it was a catch or not. You might get a little disagreement on the Des Bryant thing from some fans in Louisiana, Drew. But
only if it's Green Bay fans.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it was the play of the game. That throw from Nuss, the catch, it was the play of the game, and they took it off the board. It's just very unfortunate. But we will obviously continue to keep an eye on Barry and Brown. Drew Fabianich, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, with us every week here on Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Drew, we appreciate the time another week, and we'll do it again for Florida. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, brother.
There he is, Drew Fabianich. We'll grab a break, come back on the other side, hear from Rouse's on Burbank and Lee. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Recruiting with Shay Dixon from On3 Sports. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team.
10 minutes. Let ESPN Bet at LaBerge Baton Rouge be your game day headquarters. And we bring in Shay Dixon right now. Shay, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, Charlie. How are you?
I got a small bone to pick with you. In this era of good feeling, LSU ranked in the top 5. They win the season opener. Everybody's in a great mood, the whole thing. And I got to talk to you about decommitments. What's up with that?
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. What's up with that?
Well, there's also a quarterback visit that was a bit of a surprise. So we could do positives and negatives. There's 5 stars on campus. It's not all burning, Charlie. That's your job. You're supposed to tell the fans it's not all burning down. It's good. We're fine.
That's what I bring you in for, Shay. All right, let's get the bad out of the way here. LSU, who had offensive lineman Emmanuel Tucker, top offensive lineman in Mississippi, committed. He flipped on social media yesterday to Ole Miss. What's the story here?
Yeah, for week 1, he went and visited a game at Ole Miss in Oxford, and he's from New Albany, so a stone's throw from Oxford. It was when they've racked up eventual signings, even from guys like P.J. Woodland and Tyler Miller, who's an offensive lineman on the team now as a freshman, and then have a commitment from Bryson Cooley, who they beat out Bama and a lot of other teams for. All those guys are from the Pine Belt, and obviously Christian Keys and the Moore receiver is as well. But this was the first guy from around the Oxford area that LSU had committed. So it was the one that I wondered, even more so than Keys, if he would ultimately stick. And one visit into the season, he went ahead and took this commitment. And better now than later. And look, we're talking about an offensive lineman, Charlie. They're starting this fresh group of linemen now. We've seen them hit the portal, but there's Carrier Kern, who's a 5-star that doesn't even start for him right now. And DJ Chester's a backup right now. He started every game. And then you look at what Brad Davis and that staff did in recent years. We're signing Ethan Callaway and Ori Williams, and sort of the list goes on.
Solomon Thomas. They're waiting for him to get healthy. So
from Florida State as a 5-star. So it burns, but better to know now than on signing day. And it's a position that's done a lot like wide receiver, really well at recruiting in recent years. So I think it will be able to weather the storm here.
You know, far be it for me to be cynical, but and it's not like decommitment started in the NIL and revenue sharing eras, Shay, but whenever one of these kids flips like this, and this is either to LSU or away from LSU, I just assume somebody upped the offer somewhere. Am I off base there? Am I being too cynical?
And it's going to be case by case, obviously. But I will say what I've started to notice is kids that are at this high level, right? If you're being recruited by LSU, you're a top-ranked player in Mississippi, your rev share, agreement and what you're kind of being offered, your NIL opportunities, by the time, and look, these kids at ages, right? I mean, and they're allowed to, and they should, when it comes to money, and so their parents aren't doing everything without maybe knowledge of how it all goes down, and that everything ends up being sort of even. That's the shop, right? Like, get as much as you can, but a lot of people do as much as they feel like they're willing to. So between everybody trying to just balance the roster budget between recruiting, the portal, returning players, all of that, much like an NFL team, that at the end of the day, it's not like one, for guys this elite, that one offer is so crazy above the rest, unless you're a quarterback who the richest man, a top 5 richest person in the world wants on their squad, or I should say on their wife or wife's squad.
Well, Shay, this stuff happens in the NFL, too. Like Micah Parsons verbally committed to Dallas, but he didn't sign. Okay, so then he flipped his commitment to Green Bay. So this stuff happens in the NFL, too. All right, home opener. And you made this point last week that it's been a long time since LSU has been able to put themselves in front of recruits with the dead period and everything. So it should be a packed house here tonight.
It will be, yes, and I'll lead off, and then you can talk about whatever else you want to talk about with these guys from 5 stars on campus. But the most notable visitor has to be Landon Duckworth. And if you don't know the name and you're listening right now, there's a reason for it. It's kind of been kept quiet here that he's a top 10 quarterback. He's a senior in high school in Alabama. He's committed to South Carolina. He committed to Beamer over the summer. Not a ton of offers, and this is a kid who's a state champ in football in 5A, but also in basketball and also in track. So a hell of an athlete. This is South Carolina kind of pitching the Lenore Sellers. And quietly, after what I joked about Bryce Underwood a minute ago, but then LSU's kind of had to be late to the game recruiting this cycle, and they went after Bo Bentley, and Bentley picks OU over LSU, and everyone sort of wondered, all right, what's going to happen? And you mentioned it. They haven't hosted recruits in a long time. It's a 2-month-long dead period. And now it's the first time they've been able to host recruits. And on the very first weekend they can host recruits, here comes a top 10 ranked quarterback who's committed to another SEC school. And he's got his mom with him, which is kind of the big deal here. So the plans they had in place ultimately played out. And now we've got a little LSU versus South Carolina battle on our hands. And I noted this, Charlie, when I put the news out, but it's interesting because we never remember this happening, and I don't know what it's tied to other than quarterback dominators drop early, but maybe the NIL era rev share. Every quarterback that is in our top 50 right now on Rivals is already committed. They've already committed before their senior year started. So if you don't have a quarterback committed and you want a really good one, you have to flip one right now, and that's what LSU's trying to do.
Speaking of quarterbacks, if you had a good eye during the broadcast last week, you saw Colton Nussmeier standing next to his dad. And the first thing I noticed is that he's taller than his dad, who was listed at 6'3" when he played in the NFL. So I know he's just a junior, but Colton Nussmeier certainly looks the part, Shay. He's a big young man.
Yeah, and he's, I guess this is obviously Garrett's little brother, but not so little. I remember at summer camp joking when Doug was out there and Garrett was out there, and he's taller than Garrett is. He goes, I'm a short kid. And then I looked over at their dad and I said, hey, Colton, can we get a back-to-back with you and Doug here? And he goes, oh, my dad won't do that now. He stopped doing that about 6 months ago. So, yes, this is a kid, great size. He's a southpaw. When you watch his film, it's a lot different than watching Garrett. He's a lefty out there, but I put him on the very short list of 2027 quarterbacks. All those kids are juniors. Obviously, everyone knows Elijah Hayden here in Baton Rouge, and then up at Evangel, Peyton Houston is the other top-rated quarterback in the state. He's announced that he'll be shutting things down this month, and she's been in the mix there. So I've always thought, Charlie, they're going to take 2 guys, and Nuss, the guy you saw on TV a couple of weeks ago, is one that I still think I could side with if I'm having to pick 2 with a good chance of winning the class.
Shay, I've got one for you that might be a little off the wall, but with the dead period being lifted, I think is a good time to kind of mention it. Another position they've recruited incredibly well, like receiver, like offensive line, has been linebacker. But they lose out on the kid to Arkansas, and it's kind of been all quiet there. Is there any update you can give us on maybe where LSU might be looking at the linebacker position in the class of 2026?
Yeah, the kid who's at one time committed to Auburn, Michael Garrett, moved into Louisiana, transferred to Central outside of Baton Rouge over the offseason. They're keeping an eye on him. They have an offer, but he's visiting today. Again, it's the first time they've been able to host kids at 2 months. So they'll get an eye on him and be watching him as a senior. But you led off by saying, hey, look, Blake Baker, he kind of circled one guy he really liked, and that was J.J. Bush. And look, Bush was a silent LSU. Ultimately, he decided, hey, I'm going to commit to Arkansas. And I believe earlier this week, Will Farm put out the news that next week, added to the LSU visitor list, J.J. Bush, Arkansas commit, coming down to check things out. So I think Baker probably put on a show out at Clemson, dialed up J.J. Bush and said, hey, man, before I go start recruiting all these other linebackers, you want to come down for a visit? And he said, yes, let's do it. So let's keep an eye on if target number one for him doesn't come back around. And what we kind of thought might be a small linebacker class, kind of see who you like in the portal and go from there.
Shay, what's coming up after the game on 3?
Well, again, we'll catch up with all these guys. I mean, Lamar Brown's going to be there. He's already been tweeting about big quarterbacks being in town, and we'll catch up with everyone, see kind of what they thought of last week's game, this week's game. LSU being ranked in the top 3. And I'll give you one more, Charlie. You'll remember Antonio Hudson, his son a lot. Funny enough with Rustin, he's got an offer from McMahon and an offer from Brian Kelly. He'll be down here today. He's 5-star. And as he starts his junior year, the number 1 tight end in America and a top 10 prospect. So if he becomes a legacy, I'm telling you, if it's Trey Green Volume 2, and a lot of people think he's already further along in football than Trey was at this point.
Well, that's good news.
Hello.
Trey I think, is going to be quite a valuable player for them this year. Shay, we always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week when I'm sure it's going to be a really healthy visitor list for the University of Florida.
Oh, boy. And it could be another top 10 matchup. I'm excited about it. Let's get through week 2. 1-0, Charlie.
There you go. 1-0. He's got him in lockstep over there. We're here at Rouse's, Burbank and Lee. Short drive over towards Tiger Stadium. They want to cover the spread. They want to cover your game day spread. So come here and pick up things from the bakery, from the chop house, from the Mongolian grill. Lots of beer, wine, and spirits. A huge, huge selection of that. All your tailgating supplies here at Rouse's. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Epic Paving College Football Scoreboard. Epic Paving, Louisiana's preferred paving vendor.
Coming down the stretch here, Illinois putting the finishing touches on a win against Duke, 45-19, less than 4 minutes to go in that one. Number 7, Texas, no problems with San Jose State, 38-7, less than 2 minutes to go there. Arch Manning, 4 touchdown passes in the game. Somehow the the mechanics improved this week when you're playing San Jose State, not Ohio State. SMU and Baylor are tied at 38. There's 30 seconds to go in this game. SMU is going to get the ball back. Never thought I'd say this about a Dave Aranda team, but the offense is significantly better than the defense. The defense has had a hard time stopping SMU all day, but the offense has gotten it going. Sawyer Robertson, 425 yards and 4 touchdowns for Baylor. That one's got 30 seconds to go. If SMU can't score, they're going to go to overtime. They are going to overtime at the Carrier Dome. UConn and Syracuse are tied at 20. Fourth quarter score, Texas A&M leads Utah State 44-14. Marcel Reed has thrown 3 touchdown passes for the Aggies. The Texas A&M Aggies, they're both Aggies. A&M looking ahead possibly to Notre Dame next week, but they've got this one in control. Jacksonville State leads Liberty 24-10. That's in the third quarter. Temple leads Howard 21-7. Number 4, Georgia leads Austin Peay 14-3. That game is 2 minutes to go to the half. Gunnar Stockton 12-14, but for only 84 yards. Georgia a little sloppy here to start today. New Mexico leads Idaho State 7-0, and Clemson, number 8 in the country, kicking off right now against Troy, as is Kansas and Missouri. Bowling Green and Cincinnati, Delaware and Colorado, App State and Lindenwood, Grambling and number 1 Ohio State. Oklahoma State's at number 6 Oregon. Ole Miss, number 20 in the country, they are at Kentucky. East Tennessee State at Tennessee, ranked 22nd in the country, are the Vols, Miami of Ohio, and Rutgers at 2:30. Fresno State and Oregon State kicking off. Texas State and UTSA, UAB and Navy, and North Texas and Western Michigan. Those are all 2:30 games. Finals from earlier today, number 2 Penn State beat Florida International 34-0. Drew Aller threw a couple of touchdown passes. Number 14 Florida State, no problem with East Texas A&M, 77-3. Tommy Castellanos threw 3 touchdown passes for the Noles. Number 16 Iowa State, they beat Iowa in-state rivalry 16-13. It was a 55-yard field goal that provided the winning points. Number 23 Indiana beat Kennesaw State 56-9. Number 24 Texas Tech beat Kent State 62-14. Minnesota blanked Northwestern State 66-0. NC State beat Virginia 35-31, and Pitt beat Central Michigan 45-17. And that is your college football scoreboard. We'll take a break. Be back here at Rouse's live Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw
98.1.
Rouse's corner of Burbank and Lee. Our LeBears countdown to kickoff, about 4 hours, a little under 4 hours now to kickoff. Joining me now is former LSU Tiger Colin Jeter, who is now with the LSU Alumni Association, decked out in purple today, in a pretty good mood. Colin, man, thanks for stopping by. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be on the show. Just excited it's football season.
Yeah, last week was a good way to start, I would say. What did you think of the game last week?
I thought it was great. I thought, just like any team, the first half's always going to start a little slow, especially on offense. But that second half, I was really impressed. Defense flying around, offense kind of got it cleaned up. We made some big plays. I'm just so impressed with how much depth we have for guys to throw to on the offensive side. I feel like I was talking about this week. I feel like we got 8 guys really we can trust to throw the ball to on the offensive side. So I'm excited to see kind of how that develops all year.
Some of those guys are tight ends. I do the post game with Richard Dixon, and he's like, they throw the ball to the tight ends now. Okay, we're hey, a little love for us, but Trey Green. I mean, it looks fantastic.
He is a freak of nature, and yeah, I'm with Richard on that. We didn't quite get the ball thrown to us as much back in the day, but again, we may have more than likely weren't the athletes they are now. Right. So Trey he's an absolute freak. I love Bauer Sharp, the transfer from Oklahoma. I think you got 2 great tight ends who kind of bring different things to the table.
Yeah. All right. So you were at the LSU Alumni Association. What do you do for the Alumni Association?
So I'm the director of development for the Alumni Association. So my job's kind of to get people within the association, get people involved, and find ways to connect Tigers, whether that's our new business membership, individual memberships. We're finding ways to keep everybody connected with LSU.
All right, so give me an example of somebody that you talked to recently, or give us an idea of how this works.
So with the business membership is our new launch. We really wanted to get Tigers doing business with Tigers. So an example of that would be we just had Trey Ledbetter, who owns Pro Dreams. They do all the memorabilia for LSU. He's already connected, but this was a way to kind of amplify his business. We got him in. We had a networking event at his facility, which was just a cool wrinkle we can offer. Instead of hosting everything in our shop, let's go to your shop where you can show off your business. People get in there. You get more time, to meet with them. But we had like 150 people in there for a networking event. Everyone's involved with LSU and just further ways to connect. So that's the whole idea. get everybody in the same building. We're all behind that same powerful brand of LSU, but let's connect. Let's build off of each other. Let's grow these business networks. Let's just continue to kind of do the things that we love about LSU and extend from there.
He's one of the U-High lead-betters. Is that right?
That I don't know.
It sounds like somebody I played against at some point in high school. U-High had a lot of very good football playing leadbetters. Anyway, so when you go out to call on people and you're talking, obviously with what's going on right now, this is an era where everybody's kind of fighting for a little attention. There's NIL dollars. There's the LSU Foundation. There's the Alumni Association. There's TAF. So there's a lot of different arms for LSU to get involved with.
Yeah, I mean, and our side, obviously, you got the foundation. They're the brick and mortar. You got TAF, who's involved with athletics. We consider our the leg. We're the people side of LSU. I mean, and that to me is the most powerful side. That the LSU is nothing without its fan base, without its student body, without its alumni group across the globe. We want to be there after they graduate. So when you come through your 4 years, when you get through, you get that piece of paper. We want to be there to offer more than just 4 years on campus. I mean, that's connecting with whether you move into a new city, you need to meet people. If you're trying to build a network in a new town, or you're just trying to get back involved, whether that's here or there, there's plenty of opportunities to kind of get people in the same circle, connect through LSU, and then really extend it from there, whether you're in certain industries, if you're just looking for a new network of people. That's what the side we're on. We're on the people side of LSU.
Always notice before games, like an hour or so before games, you can almost see every LSU coach on the sideline with recruits for the other sports. Everybody uses football as a big conduit. So what's your game day like? How do you spend your game days?
I'm kind of all over. In the mornings we start at Lod Cook, the on-campus hotel where we have a lot of people come and stay. We'll usually grab breakfast with them in the morning. Just a great way to kick off game day. From there, it depends. Today, I will eventually make my way over to campus and kind of do the tailgating scene, bounce around a little bit. Obviously, this is another cool wrinkle in my game day now coming on the show. But after here, I'll go over there on campus, bounce around. I will make my way to the L Club tailgate, go in there and see the other former athletes and enjoy a little AC and food. And then from there, we'll work our way up to the stadium. We'll go in. We've got a suite in the south end of the stadium, and we've got people in there that are involved with us, and we're happy to take them up to entertain. So it's been it's fun game days. Even after, one of my favorite parts of my game days now is we'll finish the game, hop on a shuttle back to Lod Cook, and go and watch the night game and maybe eat a little late night food over there.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, you're not that far removed from your playing days. What's it like that first game, the home opener? You kind of got to get the juices flowing a little bit. What's going through those players' minds right now?
There's nothing like it, and I had a unique experience because I didn't grow up in Louisiana. I wasn't an LSU fan by any means, but obviously I am now. But my first really LSU Tiger Stadium experience was a game I played in. I ran out of the tunnel for the first time, kind of got thrown to the fire. But there's nothing like running out of the tunnel at Tiger Stadium. The fireworks go off. You got 100,000 roaring for you. You just can't beat it. You got goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps now just talking about it. But it's the best experience in the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You got Colin Baton Rouge plays before the game, student section singing it. Just the pageantry and everything we do on here, all the traditions of the game. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'd certainly miss it. People ask me all the time, would you go back? And that's 100% yes. I'd love to be back in the purple and gold, but I'm happy to see what this team is doing.
You realize that you just got everybody driving in for the game right now that's making their way you just got all them fired up. So thank you for that.
Let's go. We're all fired up. We should be.
That's right. That's what we wanted. Colin, the best of luck. And you're going to be checking in with us throughout the season. So best of luck to you. Go pull them through tonight in the home opener and next week, too, against Florida.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll take a break. Ole Miss and Kentucky about to kick off in Lexington. And we'll talk with Jimmy out about the games coming up on the schedule. That's next here from Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Orderlocks, presented by Supreme Rice. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed for generations right here in Louisiana. And we're at the Yacht House every Monday. It's red beans and Supreme Rice. Parboiled rice, the Yacht Father's personal favorite. Now let's get locked in with Jimmy Yacht.
We go on out to talk to Jimmy as the 2:30 game window is in play, and Ole Miss and Kentucky about to kick off. They put about a 20-minute delay on that. Jimmy, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon to you too, Charlie. I got a new one for you.
Go ahead.
Minnesota against Northwestern State was up 59-0. The in-game line was 82.5.
That's got to be a new one. That's got to be a new record.
I said, all right, give me a few croakers on that one. All right, and then DJ, you could tell he shut it down with about 14 minutes to go. They scored to make it 66-0 with about late in the third, but it was a pick six. And it was like about 6 minutes to go. And then, so I took a little Minnesota, kind of middled it a little bit for just 20% of it. They called the game with 6 minutes to go.
They just shut it down.
DraftKings rules, anything 50 minutes completed, all bets are valid.
50 minutes.
55-minute rule. Yes, 50 minutes at DraftKings. So the plus 82.5 hits. And then after 50 minutes, so the Minnesota hedge is void. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Well, all right, you're living right today. Because wasn't it 55?
The staff is getting tipped well over here at the Queen. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Wasn't it a lot of places, isn't it 55 minutes required for it to be a full game?
Yes, that's right. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Tommy from here at the Queen at DraftKings told me it just switched. They just switched it. So, yeah.
Wow. Yep. Okay. Had enough there. Iowa State, you can almost set your watch by this one. I should have known better. It was going to be a field goal game one way or the other, so it's 3.5. Iowa State, they got a hell of a kicker. He did a 60-something yarder, I think, in
63 in week 2 against South Dakota.
And a 55-yarder, I believe it was, to win the game. I liked Iowa State because I thought they had the better quarterback, but as usual in that game, it was close.
They do, though. I mean, I thought Gronowski really struggled, and Iowa only scored with the aid of, fumble punt by Iowa State, set them up with a short field. I mean, Iowa State's defense did a good job holding them to 3. They took over inside the 25. And then it was a personal foul, it was defensive holding. It was a lot of stuff to extend the drive for Iowa. Gronowski, he doesn't look good, and it's also just a system that is just, it is what it is. You're under 42.5. It's usually an auto play. It should have been. It went under again. And even with some short yardage opportunities to score, try and maybe get over that one, get over the number. But, again, not even close to the total.
Illinois
quit. And Iowa State, Charlie, by the way, the State and Iowa, that's 2 nice wins, man.
Yeah.
That's 2 nice wins this early in the year.
Yeah, they're on September the 6th. They're 25% of their schedule down, and with a couple of conference wins. I'm sorry, one conference win. Excuse me. Hey, look, cut me some slack. The conferences change a lot these days. One conference win. Illinois acquitted themselves really nicely today. They pulled away from Duke in the second half. Darian Mensah threw for a lot of yards today. One of his touchdown passes was one of the best catches you'll see, and but he did throw an interception late when they were trying to climb back into it. I know you saw this game, so impressed with the Fighting Bielemas today?
I thought that, it was just classic game where the turnovers dominated this one because that Duke is down at half and had over 100 more yards than Illinois. We talked about a fumble punt that set up inside the 20 for an easy score. The Illinois took care of it. I was talking to some guys over here, and I was like, these are 2 good teams. These are 2 good teams. I thought Altmaier had a good day. I thought it was you can't turn the ball. Was it a -4 turnovers to none, whatever it was today? I mean, you can't turn the ball over that much against a good team. Illinois is a good team, but things broke their way. I don't think any different about Duke today. I don't think anything about Illinois today. 2-. Those were 2 good teams today, and they're going to both are going to be just fine. Duke's got some athletes, Charlotte. They are this. It's not just Mensah. They've got some athletes.
5 turnovers to none for Duke.
Yeah,
5-0. A game that is still going on. I don't know what your vantage point is from where you're talking to us, but Baylor and SMU, a score fest at 45 apiece is what we're showing here on the scoreboard. Never thought that I would see the day that a Dave Aranda team had an offense that much better than his defense, but that's the case here. This is, 90 points that they've given up in 2 weeks. But the offense is percolating. Robertson's thrown for over 440 yards and 4 touchdowns. What are you seeing with that game?
Baylor had to go the length of the field in the last 2 minutes to send it into overtime. SMU had a 2-touchdown lead late, but 14 unanswered, forced it to overtime. But Charlie, no, Baylor's offense was way better than their defense last year. But this is worse this year. I mean, it is. I mean, somebody got misquoted. When he made the quote, "This is our best roster," they cut it off on offense because this defense is awful. And I mean, this is an SMU team that the quarterback's back, and he has had a nice day. But I'm talking guys wide open handoffs like nobody. There's very little resistance by either team. I mean, absolute trap meet today in Waco and also in Raleigh between NC State and Virginia. No defense there either.
Yeah, that game ended, let's see, what was the final there? 35-31. NC State ended up with the win.
Scored to force double overtime.
Okay, so 45 apiece going to double overtime. All right, I know that we were all in lockstep like in Ole Miss in this game against Kentucky, which is just underway a few minutes in. Give me your thoughts on LSU's going to see Ole Miss here in a few weeks on just how good the Rebels are.
Well, we got to see. I mean, if they struggle here today, I mean, we're only 3.5 minutes into the game, so it's still trying to get our seat warm right now. But if they go and win by 3, or if it's really one of those 50-50 games, well, no. But this is a revenge spot for them. All 3 of their losses last year, they had leads in the fourth quarter of play. But this is the worst, man. And at home against a 1-7 team in the conference, and Kentucky's going to be underdog in all 8 of their conference games this year. So, I mean, Kentucky looked real lukewarm against Toledo. You talk about things falling their way. It fell their way. The yards were pretty much even against Toledo last week in the opener at Commonwealth, or they would have gone down. So this thing at Stoops, man, he had the chance to look at like 2-14 in the conference after this year's done. I can't give them more than 1 conference win this year. And if Ole Miss struggles, well, no, they're not quite as good. I don't think they're as good as last year, but I think without the pressure, it's a program that obviously doesn't do well with expectations, But if you go to Oxford, that, Charlie, we've seen worse teams for Ole Miss give LSU fits. So it's never going to be a layup when they go to Oxford.
Let's talk about two SEC teams playing interesting non-conference games. We'll start with the kind of the appetizer. Number 12, Arizona State's at Mississippi State. The Bulldogs got a season-opening win against Southern Miss. Arizona State has got a lot back from that playoff team of a year ago. Not Cam Scatteraboo, but most of the rest of that roster. And the Sun Devils are just under a touchdown favorite in Starkville.
All right, I want to update you. SMU attempted a field goal, so they got stopped the second overtime. They had first possession. This was embarrassing. They missed it. SMU misses the field goal. So Baylor, all they need is a field goal to win this one. Arizona State, yes, everybody back but Scatteraboo, including Levitt, who, man, he's got a lot of momentum with his game right now. He can move pretty good. His decisions, he can throw it. He's something to deal with. But something tells me at State tonight that they're going to come to play a little bit more. Escaping he's had some critics, but he was good at Baylor, and he's good when he's healthy. He was banged up a little bit last year. We know that Mississippi State's roster has taken a hit since the transfer portal and the NIL of roster building. But something tells me State, Charlie, is they're going to bring it tonight. They had a nice win over a rebuilt Southern Miss roster on the road in an emotional spot. And so, I don't know. I think Mississippi State, and they were embarrassed. I mean, embarrassed. That final score was no indication of just how bad it was. Arizona State killed them last year. I look for a big effort on Mississippi State tonight to at least stay close.
And probably the premier game of the evening, Oklahoma hosts Michigan. A lot of light will be on these quarterbacks. I don't have to introduce Bryce Underwood to anybody here, the Michigan quarterback. But John Mateer is a transfer from Washington State. He was a very high-profile transfer. He had a great first week for Oklahoma. And the Sooners are a 4.5-point choice tonight in Norman.
I hate to be redundant, but you've heard it before, and I'll repeat myself, but it's real. If you don't think the kid from Notre Dame struggled a little bit his first road start in a hostile environment, certainly Arch Manning, and who am I missing, Charlie? There was another one. I mean, it's a real angle in Underwood. I mean, a true freshman, first road start. Oklahoma, they want to be good. They're hungry. The crowd is going to be into it. I'm all over Oklahoma tonight.
All right. Any other plays that you like on the rest of the card?
Just an update on Kansas. Fell behind 6-0, but they scored. And also Pribula, the quarterback from Missouri, fumbled. And they scoop and score. So Kansas now 14 unanswered to take a 14-6 lead in that one. I like South Florida. They're getting ready to start kick off right now. Florida coming to Baton Rouge next week. So that will be interesting. And I like Virginia Tech at home against Vanderbilt in that one. So they outgained South Carolina in a neutral site game last week. And then they're going to lay a big chalk with BYU at home against Stanford, who we know they're in a lot of trouble. So.
But by the way, just update this score. Oregon has run 3 plays and scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's 13-0.
You were asking
early.
if it was going to be as bad, and Hanny, I think it might be as bad as they predicted.
Yeah, apparently Dan Lanning was not pleased with the comments from Mike Gundy about how much money they were spending on their roster. But Oregon, look, we don't see spreads like this with major conference teams. All that often. Man, this was a 4-touchdown spread, and Oregon's off to the races already.
Yeah, and why, as a 4-touchdown underdog, do you want to give them bulletin board material? But Landon had a great quote. I mean, they played. They only want to schedule teams with comparable NIL. I guess Tennessee Martin has the same as Oklahoma State does.
T-Boone Pickens, God rest his soul, left them plenty of money. I don't know what they did with it. So I guess they built some facilities.
So don't spend it all in one place, right?
Right.
A big chunk of Mike Gundy's career in Stillwater, he had the biggest supporter. So a little bit. Yeah, not we want to hear it. Classic case of veteran coach, and I don't know of a more extreme case of a classic a veteran coach that doesn't want to embrace the new way of roster building.
No, I think the rest of them have already retired. All right, Jimmy, who's bringing us Auto Locks?
Don't forget our friends at Supreme Rice. It's a tradition over at the Yacht House. This week we're going to do the big Navy beans. We do beans and rice every Monday. Sunday night, we put them in the slow cooker so they're ready for Monday lunch and dinner. So the only rice I use is supreme rice, parboil rice. That's right. Get that restaurant quality rice. It's firm. It's a long grain rice, and it's got all the nutrients of brown rice. My favorite parboil rice, available at all of your grocery stores here in the greater Baton Rouge area.
All right, Jimmy, enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you for Football Sunday tomorrow at the Queen. We'll start at 10 a.m., recap the whole day in college football, and get you ready for the first full Sunday of NFL football. We'll see you then.
All right. Good luck, guys.
All right. Ole Miss and Kentucky are scoreless 5 minutes into this one, but Ole Miss lining up to attempt what looks like a 52-yard field goal, something like that, to open the score. 51-yard field goal attempt by Ole Miss. Let's keep this right here before we go to break. Tell you if he makes a field goal, and he did.
Nope.
Not
off the upright.
Hit the upright, and so they remain scoreless a little over 5 minutes in. Here at Rouse's, where they want to cover your pregame spread, come and get all your tailgating items here at Rouse's, Burbank and Lee. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Family owned, fully involved, always on site. Start your build at WesleyUSA.com or follow us on LinkedIn.
Eagle 98.1 WDGL and AC1 Baton Rouge.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. After further review on Game Day, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs. Be an Alpha. AlphaCustoms.net. After further review is heard weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from AFR, here's Matt Moscona.
And we bring in Scone. Hey, Scone, I got a message to pass along to you from some friends of mine in Monroe. They said if you need a place to stay next Monday, they got you covered. So go Warhawks.
I'm covered already. The response has been amazing from the people of Monroe. So let's hope the Warhawks get it done this evening. Drown the tide, and then I'll be wearing a Warhawk outfit on the field there. And I don't even know the name of the stadium. I don't even care, but you better believe that's happening.
I need it so bad.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, Matt has had an enormous amount of fun at the expense of Alabama, and promised to go do a show from Monroe if the Warhawks beat Alabama tonight in Tuscaloosa. So,
not just from Monroe. Wearing the Warhawk outfit. Doing my 3-hour show from the field while wearing the Warhawk outfit.
What does a Warhawk outfit look like? I don't even know.
Oh, what did we say it looked like, Scone?
It's a bird like a hawk, but apparently the Warhawk is actually like a fighter jet. So the bird has like those aviation goggles on its head. It doesn't matter at all. I just hope Alabama loses again so I can laugh at all of them and watch them drown in their misery.
This has been about as fun a week as you could have between the LSU win, the Alabama loss, and for those of us that have a growing dislike of Texas since they got into the league. This has been a lot of fun. Matt, I know we've only all done a dozen shows since last Saturday, but the era of good feeling is really here. What, with a week to digest it, is still standing out to you from LSU's season opening win against Clemson?
I think it was validation of the defense from everything we saw in fall camp. And, I know it's difficult for a lot of people that cover college sports because most coaches don't give access. For a lot of years, Les Miles never gave us access. We'd watch 15 minutes of stretch for 2 days and then have to decipher things. Brian Kelly will let us go watch the full practice. And so I was probably out there, Hanny, for, 20 hours watching this team. Like, I'm not an idiot. I didn't play college football, but I've watched a ton. You know what it's supposed to look like. And all those dudes on defense that are 21, 22, 23 years old that have played in 30, 40, 50 college games, overwhelming a good LSU offense, I think we all said it, man. They're going to be really good on defense. My quote-unquote bold prediction was that for the first time since 2017, LSU was going to finish top 20 in the country in total defense. And I think it's validating. I think LSU's offense is going to be fine this year. But watching that defense do what they did against Clemson was I think very validating.
The other big question mark was the offensive line. Through one game, what did you think?
I think Joe Sloan I think he called a great game. He is an easy target, and I think that's every fan base criticizes play calling. But I think you have to tip your cap to Joe Sloan. The reason they didn't push the ball down the field was because they knew Garrett Nussmeier had to get rid of the ball quickly to avoid that pass rush from Clemson. And you had the personnel. It was about Bowersharp had 8 targets. Aaron Anderson made 5 catches. Everything was short intermediate. They only attempted 3 passes beyond 20 yards. They did that to protect the offensive line. And then on top of that, they ran the football. They showed a commitment to it, and they were able to gain positive yardage. I mean, even things as simple as Nuss converting twice on a quarterback sneak, I mean, that wasn't a certainty a year ago. So I loved Braylon Moore. I thought he was awesome. The interior of your line, all at Pro Football Focus, scored over an 80 on their pass block grades. And you gave help to the tackles when needed. I thought they were more than serviceable with a mighty big ask week 1, and I think they'll keep getting better.
I remember in 2011 when LSU beat Oregon and beat them decisively. It was such a boost going into the rest of the season. I remember telling Alan Risher was doing the postgame with me at that time. I said, this season is going to turn into an 8-week pregame for Alabama, and in large part that's what it was. Auburn wasn't very good that year. Florida wasn't very good that year. LSU blew them out. This year, Matt, there's not that Alabama team on the schedule. There's an Alabama team on the schedule. It ain't one that was like that one in 2011. So this one shapes up a lot more like, hey, I think LSU's the best team against anybody left on their schedule. Now, they're not necessarily going to run the table, but I don't see anybody out there that's significantly better than them. And that's not just in the SEC. That's across the country.
There's there's landmines on every SEC schedule. Everyone knows that. Even back to, you want to go back to 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, LSU, that national championship team lost a home game to Florida 19-7. The only score was a punt return by Skylar Green.
And that was a 3-3 Florida team when they came in here.
Yes.
I remember that game very well. Yeah.
It was a freshman Chris Leak. I mean, that was not a great team. And so you have Florida coming in next week. You have South Carolina with Rex Specs. You've got A&M coming here. You've got three tough road. Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean, there's landmines everywhere. But Hanny, one of the things, guys, that I believe is, yes, there's tough games all over this schedule, but and God bless Musso has to listen to me enough. He knows what I'm going to say. But it's not just who you play, but when and where you play them. And when you look at the way LSU schedule shapes up, every quote unquote tough game they play, they get a breather the week before. I mean, they're playing Tech before they play Florida. They're going to play Southeastern before they play South Carolina. They're going to get an open date before they go to Ole Miss. They're going to play. They get an open date before Bama. They get Vanderbilt before A&M. They get Western Kentucky before Oklahoma. It's just this team avoids that horrific 2-3 week stretch that every schedule seems to have, and maybe most importantly, they avoid any back-to-back road conference games, which has been a bugaboo for this program. It's not often talked about, but it is. I think 2019 won back-to-back road conference games, but it's rare that they do that. Last year, they lost to A&M after winning at Arkansas. So, yes, there's tough games, but the way the schedule is actually, formatted, I think plays in LSU's favor this year.
LSU's a giant favorite tonight, and rightfully so. Louisiana Tech, the 24-0 win against Southeastern last week, I thought was kind of deceiving. Southeastern outgained them. They had more yards and more first downs. They just turned the ball over 5 times in Tech territory, or else that might have been a lot closer. Southeastern might even have had a chance to win the game had they held on to the football. But with that in mind, what would you like to see tonight outside of the obvious, get out of this thing without injuries? And, we know all of that spiel, but 1 or 2 players that you'd like to see, things that you didn't see last week.
Guys that weren't featured last week that I think will be featured this week. I think they will absolutely stretch the field, look for Chris Hilton to get targets. Ashton Stamps didn't play a defensive snap. He led the SEC in pass breakups last year, did not take a defensive snap. I think he will play a bigger role tonight. And I think this is the night where LSU fans get to see how special Harlem Berry can be, because they're going to, I'm sure, look to get Caden Durham out of the game as quickly as possible. And with Juwan Johnson and Caleb Jackson and Xavier Thomas and Harlem Berry, they're going to have a lot of options. So I think this is probably one of those games where Harlem Berry gets the second half, and we're going to get to see some fireworks from the 5-star freshman.
All right, Matt, you firing up after the game today? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do a live stream on my own personal YouTube channel, just kind of loosely keeping whiskey and wine going with T-Bob up at Barstool. But we'll fire up a live stream and kind of lead into you guys on post game with you and Dixon.
First thing I see this morning on Twitter, I mean, the very first thing I see is T-Bob with Ric Flair's daughter. Charlotte, I think is her name.
Flair, yeah.
So he's having a good time.
It's good to know he hasn't lost his touch up there in Chi-Town.
Matt, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. See you.
It looks like Oregon is running pregame drills.
Yeah.
I mean, there are not. There's nobody anywhere close to some of these players. I mean, it's 20-0. Or it's 19-0. They got a conversion to come. They went for 2 the last time. So let me not jump the gun on the
interesting spot to go for 2 in a ball game as well. Your second touchdown.
That's Oregon, man. They just march to their own beat a little bit. LaBerge Casino countdown to kickoff, about 3 hours and 15 minutes. ESPN Bet at LaBerge, your game day headquarters. We'll take a break. Come back, and we will check in with the guys on OTB. That is next, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders. We're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Off the bench on Game Day. Presented by Shell. Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana. Off the Bench is heard weekday mornings at 7 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from OTB, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, LSU welcomes Louisiana Tech to town. It's going to be a 6:30 p.m. kick. LSU is a 37.5-point favorite in this game. Last week, Louisiana Tech beat Southeastern 24-0. It was 3-0 at halftime, and Louisiana Tech pulls away there in the second half. Now, you know, Louisiana Tech's not the program that it's been in the past. Certainly they've had teams in the past that have been really competitive, gone to some pretty decent bowl games, and they're trying to get back to that point. They're not there yet. And so LSU is going to have a lot of success in this game. But if I asked you, and Hunt, I hope you're listening here for the station survey. If I asked you this, Flynn, what do you want to see from LSU knowing that they are, a 5-touchdown plus favorite in this game?
Yeah, you just really, when you go into a game like this, it's there's going to be some, we've kind of poo-pooed on like the juice, the energy, they kind of have to manufacture energy. But I guess what we really haven't given enough credit to is the first time being in Tiger Stadium this year. So there is going to be some juice just pulled straight from that. But outside of that, it's hard to get the emotions up. It's hard to get the intensity, the subconscious intensity that it is because you're coming off an emotional high. So a lot of that has to be manufactured. Like I said yesterday, like coaches talk, coaches speak, the coaches, like the stereotypical things they say is kind of at a premium this week. But what I like about this team is these are kind of leadership games right here.
Yeah.
So your leaders, you can't accept anything but anybody's best. I know it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard a lot, but this is the first time in Tiger Stadium. You're playing an in-state school.
First time you've been 1-0 in Tiger Stadium since Moby Dick was a minnow.
Let's get a little juice on that.
Yes.
But it's what I want to see from them is just plain execution.
Yeah.
It is going out there, executing your assignment, knowing what to do, being confident, and I want the game to look clean. I don't want pre-snap penalties. I don't want pre-snap misalignments. I don't want 12 men in the huddle. I don't want 12 men on the field. I don't want all the silly things that make a game just look sloppy and slow down a game. I want to play on time. I want to play on schedule. I don't want to have any holding calls on first down and be 1st and 20. I want to be on schedule as the offense. And I want to get my starters out of there midway through the third quarter. I want to be that type of game where it's like, okay, Garrett, great game. You went 24 of 28.
Yeah.
For 3 tuds and 240 yards, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be these crazy stats. I don't care about beating a team 60 to nothing.
No,
it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me. The fluff stats, the fluff scores, it makes fans feel good and gives you the warm and fuzzies a little bit, but I just want execution. On the defensive side of the ball, yes, that is where it's hard to manufacture that energy and that intensity, but play gap sound. Play your assignment correctly. Be part of that 111th, right? Whatever that is. Be that 111th, right? And go and execute your job. Do your job. Do the assignment you're supposed to. Don't try to do anything outside of the ordinary because you think you're better than a team or know you're better and you're trying to get an extra sack or get an extra tackle. Do your assignment. I just want to see clean. I want low MAs, missed assignments.
So, I mean, I'm pretty similar to that. Like, I don't really care what the score is. Like, we'll give a score prediction on the website, LouisianaSports.net. Go check out all the work that they're doing. Great things for not only the LSU Tigers, but the New Orleans Saints. I'll probably say something 45-10. Like, that'll probably be something I throw out there, okay? I don't care about that, though. I want to see what the schematics are going to look like for the defense. Like, they were pressure last week.
Yep.
Now, is that who they're going to be? And I'm not saying about because of the quality of the opponent. I'm talking about just the style of the offense. Is that who they're going to be against that, like any offense? Or is that who they're going to be because they knew they could get Cade Klubnik flustered?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to do that multiple weeks? Like, is that going to be every week? Is it going to be this week? This quarterback shows that he can get off his marker if we bring that much pressure. Now, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to bring pressure, but are they going to bring it 60-something% of the time like they did against Clemson? Like, that's the most intriguing thing to me. Are they going to sit back?
Yep.
Are they going to kind of, figure it out a little bit?
Yep.
Are they going to say, hey, no, this is who we are, right? And we're going to do it to DJ Lagway in 2 weeks as well. Like, I want to see what the scheme of the defense looks like. Because if they bring pressure 60% of the time again in this Louisiana Tech game, that's who they are.
Yeah, I think foundationally, Blake Baker and that defense wants to be aggressive. And I learned that from Blake Baker in spring flag football, coaching 7 to 10. That son of a gun was bringing pressure all over the place. That's just who he is, who he wants to be. So we saw it. But I do think that he's he understands the game so well and understands defenses so well, knows how to game plan so well that it will change a little bit game by game. But I think at the core of everything, he wants to create chaos. He wants to bring pressure. He wants to make them have to make the exceptional play and play a little bit faster than they want to play. You make the offense a little bit uncomfortable, you have a chance to do some really special things. And we did last week. Now, I also believe that he's going to watch the quarterbacks and see how they process information. You might blitz one guy a lot more than you blitz another guy, or bring different types of pressures against them, because one quarterback might be really bad at deciphering pressures from his blind side. One person might be a little bit worse because one guy might be a right-hander you might pressure from the right side a little bit more, because the 98% of his scrambles, he wants to go scramble to the right instead of, flipping his hips and rotating and scrambling to the left. He's uncomfortable doing that. Like, there's all sorts of things that go into it. I believe they pressured and brought so much chaos, even though they did leave some open people. They were exposed a little bit, but that's part of being blitzed and pressure. I believe that they watched the film from last year with Cade Klubnik, and they saw a weakness of his, which is deciphering different types of defense, reading the inside middle portion of the field, And he has a weakness of having to get past his first and second read and staying on a platform and having a good base at quarterback and reading and playing that type of offense. I believe that had a lot to do with it. And I also believe you go back and watch the 11 on 11, Harold Perkins, famously playing the star position, is out there, and he has past responsibilities. He's got either curl flat or monument or he's got these responsibilities.
Don't talk about monument.
Okay,
all willy-nilly when we can't show the people what you're talking about.
He has past responsibilities in a zone coverage.
Yeah.
Okay? You could tell that he was given the green light by his coaches to abort that past responsibility and attack the quarterback multiple times. Now, he created a lot of pressure when it was supposed to be, when it was actually pressures and he's either spying or a late add to a blitz or a pressure. But he did it a lot when he was supposed to be in the curl flat.
Yeah.
And you could tell that he was given that green light. All right, as soon as he goes, I don't care I don't care who's there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that comes a lot because Cade struggles reading defenses. So. And he did.
And they also probably didn't want to get Cade Klubnik on the edge because you're turning your back because you're trying to get to your coverage responsibility, and all of a sudden you look up and he hits you for a 27-yard gain.
Certainly. You didn't want to be
with his legs.
With his legs.
Yeah.
He can beat you with his arm if he can find it and decipher it. But now, with that being said, there was opportunities for Cade to make plays when that happened, certainly.
Yeah,
but
it's part of the game plan to be so chaotic that you get them off their game plan.
But you make him play fast. You bring chaos to him, and they just believe that he couldn't keep up with it. So, and it was right, and they crushed it.
Yeah, and there's some quarterbacks at LSU might play that have, a different football IQ. It's not to say that Cade's got a bad one, but that was something that showed up in film that if you kind of made it chaotic like that for him, he didn't get to his second and third read. Like, he'd get to the first one, then he'd try to make a play, and a lot of times he was so athletic he could make the play. But he
just hasn't really had to.
Right. There's some that you're going to play. Yeah, there's some that you're going to play that are going to be different. I mean, you got, Diego Pavia, you got John Mateer, you got DJ Lagway, you got Lenore Sellers, all still coming up on this schedule for LSU.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The dependable storage college football scoreboard. Dependable Storage. Let us store your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
We start in Lexington, where Ole Miss looks like crap. Kentucky leads this thing 7-0. Austin Simmons has thrown 2 interceptions. Mississippi has missed a field goal, and Kentucky has completely dominated this first quarter. They lead 7-0. It could, maybe should be a little bit worse than that. They are inside the 25-yard line right now, so they've got a chance to add to their lead. Ole Miss was a 9.5-point favorite, and you would have figured that losing this game last year in Oxford essentially cost Ole Miss a shot at the playoffs.
Yes.
I know they lost to Florida later on, but that was on the road. This was the game that cost them everything last year. I know there's turnover in the roster, but I figured that they would be ready to play today. They're not. So we'll keep you up to date there. Number 6, Oregon is leading Oklahoma State 20-0, but the Cowboys are playing goal to go at the Oregon 6-yard line. Number 1, Ohio State leads Grambling 21-0. Number 4, Georgia leads Austin Peay 14-3. That game is in a weather delay. I believe that they are at halftime, but they are in a delay right now is what I'm showing. Temple leads Howard 38-7. New Mexico leads Idaho State 14-10. Those games are in the third quarter. Also in a weather delay, Clemson. They trail Troy 7-0. That game is early in the first quarter.
Clemson might need that delay. I think if a team needs a delay, it's Clemson right now. Get your mind right.
I didn't see the touchdown was on a touchdown pass for Troy from Goose Crowder.
They took it right down the
Taylor.
field. 75 yards on the opening drive, right down the field.
You got like a quarterback named Goose.
That's a fantastic name.
Yeah.
Goose Crowder, that's good.
Number 22, Tennessee, with a 31-0 lead early in the second quarter against East Tennessee State. Kansas leads Mizzou 21-13. That game is early in the second quarter. First meeting in 25 years, I believe, for these two teams.
No, 2011.
I'm sorry.
2011 was the last time.
That's right, 2011, not 2001, excuse me. 14 years for this border war. Jalen Daniels has thrown a touchdown pass early. Oregon State leads Fresno State 12-7. That's in the second quarter. Gardner-Webb leads Georgia Tech 6-0 in the first quarter. Cincinnati leads Bowling Green 21-0. And Colorado leads Delaware 10-0. Those are second quarter scores. Also in the second quarter, App State leads Lindenwood 14-0. UTSA leads Texas State. I'm sorry. Texas State is taking the lead now 9-7. 9-7 is that one. Navy leads UAB 21-14. That is early in the second quarter. Western Michigan leads North Texas 14-7. Buffalo leads St. Francis 17-zip. Middle Tennessee, an early field goal. They lead Wisconsin 3-0, and West Virginia leads Ohio 7-zip late in the first quarter. Also in the first quarter, Wyoming leads Northern Iowa 7-0. Halfway through the first quarter in Gainesville, Florida, and South Florida are scoreless, but the Gators are threatening down at the 13-yard line of the Bulls. Wake Forest and Western Carolina are scoreless, as are Miami and of Ohio and Rutgers. Earlier finals today. Number 2, Penn State. Sluggish first half. They only led this game 10-0, but they pulled away and won 34-0 over Florida International. Drew Aller threw 2 touchdown passes for the Nittany Lions. Number 7, Texas bounces back from the loss at Ohio State. They beat San Jose State 38-7. Arch Manning threw for 295 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He's back.
Here's my thing, okay? Here's my thing. I want to say this all week. Arch Manning was basically born at the Manning Passing Academy, right? Okay, so as soon as he was able to walk, he's been there, which means that for the last 15 to 17 years, he has seen any quarterback worth a flip in college football come through there. He's practiced with them, he's played with them, he's played against them, okay? His grandfather and both of his uncles played a long time in the NFL, and he has been coached for the last 2 years by Steve Sarkisian, who at every single stop on his coaching career has either been a quarterback coach or an offensive coordinator or both when he wasn't a head coach, okay? Yeah. With all of that experience and all of that knowledge, last week we figured out Arch Manning has mechanic problems. Come on, man. They were playing Ohio State on the road. You think at some point in the last 18 years at the Manning Passing Academy or at Thanksgiving dinner they might have said, Arch, you know, your elbow's poking out a little bit. Your feet are pointed the wrong way. Come on, man.
The side-on throw.
They were playing Ohio State. Number 11, Illinois beat Duke 45-19. Darian Mensah had a lot of yards for Duke. He did throw a late interception, threw for 334 and 2 touchdowns in the loss. Number 14, Florida State rolls 77-3 over East Texas A&M. Number 16, Iowa State beat Iowa 16-13, 55-yard field goal with about a little under 2 minutes to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there to win it for Iowa State, who's now 3-0 on the season. Double overtime for Baylor. They beat number 17 SMU 48-45. This was a back-and-forth game in the second half. 28 points scored in the fourth quarter. Number 19, Texas A&M beat Utah State 44-22. Marcel Reed threw for 3 touchdown passes today. Le'Veon Moss ran for 68 yards and a score. Number 23, Indiana beat Kennesaw State 56-9. It was number 24, Texas Tech over Kent State 62-14. Minnesota blanked Northwestern State 66-0. Weather shortened this thing to about 51 minutes. They were happy to go.
How about that?
They were happy to go
crazy.
home.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
NC State, another shootout today. They beat Virginia 35-31. Pitt beat Central Michigan 45-17. Eli Holstein threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another overtime game. Syracuse beat UConn 27-20, and Jacksonville State beat Liberty 34-24. And that is your college football scoreboard. Austin Simmons, 3 of 9 for 47 yards and 2 interceptions in 1 quarter of play.
Kentucky only able to convert a field goal off that, man. They started at the Ole Miss plus 31-yard line and just get 3 out of that one.
It's 10-0 Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's 4 interceptions for Simmons now in 5 quarters.
Yeah.
2 of them against a completely outmanned Georgia State team. They rolled. They won the game, but he threw a couple of picks in that one. Rough start for him. He's so impressive in that one drive against Georgia last year, and I kind of bought into him. I'm like, he'll be fine. He's off to a rough start.
First road start. I mean,
okay.
I know that Kroger Field, or whatever it's called, it's not, a juggernaut place to play on the road, but it's still a road venue in the SEC. There's a lot of juice in there, man. They beat you last year.
That's an excellent point. I can't dispute that in any way. All right, Oklahoma State got a field goal, 20-3. Oregon leads that one in the second quarter. Up in Eugene. We'll take a break, come back. We'll hear from Matt Bellinson from the Ruston Leader. Tell us a little bit about Louisiana Tech. That's next, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgout, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge is home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day, presented by Super Chevy and Yingling. Opposing media.
Back here from the Rouses on Burbank and Lee, it's Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Earlier this week, Matt Moscona had a chance to sit down with Matt Bellison of the Ruston Leader to get a better look at the Bulldogs.
We head up to Ruston. Matt Bellison is the sports editor there at the Ruston Leader, covers the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Good enough to jump aboard with us here for a couple of minutes. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Obviously, a really tall task this week coming to Baton Rouge. What's the general mood, vibe there in Ruston this week?
You know, I think fans are encouraged by what they saw. I think from the defense last week for Louisiana Tech, I think that's pretty much the only thing that they were encouraged by in that week one win over Southeastern Louisiana. You know, the offense had a lot of turnover, you know, bringing in Tony Franklin as the new offensive coordinator, a lot of new changes, new quarterback, a couple new pieces at wide receiver. I think fans were excited, frankly, to see if this offense could put up some points finally in year 4 of the Sonny Cumbie era. Unfortunately, that did not happen until really pretty much late in the third quarter, where this offense finally put together 2 touchdown drives. Outside of that, it was pretty much more of the same. You know, the offense stalled out, a lot of 3-and-outs. You know, they basically didn't play a half of football against Southeastern. So I think they head down to Baton Rouge, you know, fans and coaches and players alike. I think they're optimistic that things offensively can be better. I don't know if they're going to necessarily put up a lot of points this week against LSU, but I certainly feel like fans are encouraged that there's some pieces in place that I think lends you to believe that Louisiana Tech can have some better success this year.
Tony Franklin's a name that a lot of SEC fans will recognize, but of course, I mean, Sonny Cumbie, his background is on the offensive side of the ball. Whose fingerprint really is on this offense in Ruston?
It's Tony Franklin. Tony Franklin is calling the plays. He's the primary play caller. They made it very clear in the offseason program that he is in charge of this offense, personnel, scheme, you know, whatever you want to say. Sonny Cumbie is pretty much taking a step back. You know, he's going to be the overseer now in offense and defense. He's kind of the culture builder, building relationships, just making sure the operation of the football program goes smoothly. You know, you even heard it last week. You know, Tony Franklin started the first half up in the box calling plays, and then Tony himself told Sonny Cumbie, hey, I'm going to come down on the field in the second half and call plays. Does that sound good to you? And Sonny said yes. So this is 100% Tony's offense. I think that, again, was maybe the kind of the frustrating part with Tech fans is, you know, okay, fine. Sonny Cumbie gives up play calling to Tony Franklin in year 4. Finally, we'll get to see some offense going. Tony Franklin knows what FBS play calling looks like. And for pretty much a half of football, they did not look like a competent offense. So I think moving forward, now that they know who their quarterback is, now that they know what this offense can do, I'm expecting them to put up some points here in the next couple of weeks and really, you know, put their mark that this is a different offense from what we've seen.
Yeah, Matt, it was interesting on Saturday against Southeastern. There was balance. But there just wasn't a lot of offense. It was 130 pass yards, 132 rushing yards. So do they want balance, or are they maybe trying to lean more one side or the other?
This is definitely a run-first team. You know, Tony Franklin's offense is dictated by a run-first quarterback. You know, he wants a mobile guy back there, behind the center. I think that's why they gave Trey Kukuk the job at quarterback. If you remember, like last year, Evan Bullock, was this team's starting quarterback for 10 games, and Evan was in deep competition with Trey, throughout fall camp. But it was very obvious that just Evan's lack of mobility, held him back as far as what Tony Franklin wanted to do in this offense. And they made it very clear that Trey can do that. Coming from Saddleback Community College in California, Trey rushed for almost 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. The idea of a running quarterback is huge in this offense, and I think, like you mentioned, you saw multiple running backs, get in that game, and I think a lot of balanced carries. I don't think they've really established a downhill. You're going to get 10 to 12 carries as our tailback type of guy. I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced. But I think overall in the passing game, I think it's definitely going to build off the run, what they can do from that. I think they don't really have those downfield playmakers, those explosive guys that they've had maybe in years past, like a Trey Harris or a Cyrus Allen. But I certainly feel like they have a pretty good tight end, Eli Finley. They have a couple of junior college transfers that they like as well in the receiver room. So I would expect on Saturday this team is going to run first, and then maybe take a couple shots in the passing game.
Matt, it's always interesting how rosters are built now in the portal era. Matt Bellinson's with us, by the way, from the Ruston Daily Leader. You mentioned Trey Harris, who, of course, everybody remembers was just outstanding last year at Ole Miss when he was healthy. I mean, he was at Tech before he went to Ole Miss. You mentioned a few JUCO transfers coming in. Has Sonny Cumbie built this roster through the transfer portal?
It's interesting. I think in certain spots they have. I think particularly on the defensive line and at the defensive secondary, you've definitely seen them increase, their JUCO, their transfer portal additions. I think, frankly, some of that has just been the roster has just turned over at a super high rate that I think they don't really have the luxury of trusting. Maybe some of the high school kids that they've brought in through the recruiting, cycle over the past couple of years. I think that's why they've gone through the JUCO route the past couple of years, particularly on the defensive, offensive lines and the defensive secondary. I think those are positions that are too crucial to maybe sometimes trust some of the high school kids that you bring in. But at the same time, I think if you're a Louisiana Tech program and wondering maybe why you have not sustained success and had a winning season since 2019, it's probably because you have not had talent in your building that has stayed and, frankly, produced to the point where you trust them to be in your building year after year. So I certainly feel like on the offensive and defensive line, it's definitely where you've seen a lot of junior college transfers, a lot of guys coming in and out throughout the past couple of seasons, particularly on the defensive line. I mean, there's a lot of new faces this year. If I remember correctly, they lost 7 to the transfer portal this past offseason alone. So there's a lot of new faces from the junior college, similar mid-major level. So the defensive line is definitely where they've hit, transfer portal pretty heavy. Outside of that, at the skill positions, they brought in a couple of JUCO transfers, but for the most part, they really have brought in some guys that have stayed in this program for a long time and have given them some opportunities.
One guy not on the line, but that LSU fans will remember is Colby Fields from New Orleans, started his career at South Carolina, was in Baton Rouge for a year, transferred to Tech. He's the preseason CUSA Defensive Player of the Year. Had 13 tackles last week against Southeastern. What has worked so well for Fields there in Ruston?
Yeah, I think it's just the versatility of the defensive schemes he's been in. He's not necessarily, the typical linebacker build, 6 foot, 225. He definitely is a guy that can be in a kind of a hybrid role. They like to put him, inside the box, outside the box. They can put him in the coverage, in the secondary. He's definitely a guy that I think you can put him all across the field in different areas. And I think he can just confuse defenses with his athleticism. Again, like you mentioned, he can go down and make 13 tackles. He can also break up passes and make plays on the ball. So he's just a linebacker that I think can do a lot of different things in this defensive scheme with Luke Olson. And I think you saw that obviously in week 1. Again, he was deployed very effectively. And frankly, last year, I was kind of surprised that he came back to Louisiana Tech just given the production that he had last year, with over 70 tackles, a couple tackles for loss, a pick. He definitely improved his game. Obviously he had to sit out 2 seasons ago after transferring from LSU, but man, he made the most of his redshirt junior season last year, and I would expect him to continue that production definitely this Saturday and going forward at Louisiana Tech.
How are the Bulldogs on special teams this year?
They had to replace their place kicker and their punter. Both of those guys left for the transfer portal as well. So it's just the nature of the beast at Louisiana Tech. They just have to replace a lot of positions, frankly, year after year. I thought their place kicker did okay. In game 1, again, the offense did not exactly produce a whole lot for him to necessarily show off his field goal leg. And I think, kind of the kickoffs were definitely a question mark as well. Buck Buchanan has been this team's place kicker for the past couple seasons, had a really great leg. I think he was top 5 in the country in touchbacks. He's gone now to Colorado, so I think you're going to see a lot of kickoffs this year not reach the end zone. Louisiana Tech special teams coverage game is definitely going to have to be a lot stronger. I think in the punting game as well, John Hoyt Chance, was the Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week this past week, but at the same time, Sonny Cumbie admitted that the hang time on some of these punts is a concern. So I think overall there's some encouraging signs that you maybe have some pieces that you like in the special teams game, but it is definitely an unproven unit just in terms of game speed and game time played. So I would definitely expect the special teams unit to grow and frankly maybe have some growing pains, if not this weekend, then definitely throughout the rest of the season.
Matt, if Matt Bellinson from the Ruston Leader is with us, if this is a tall ask this weekend, I mean, LSU's I think a 37.5 point favorite. If there is a blueprint for Sonny Cumbie's squad to come to Baton Rouge, keep it close, make it a game in the fourth quarter, how does that look?
It has to be takeaways. I go back to when Louisiana Tech played at Arkansas last year. Again, I know the final scores that says that Louisiana Tech lost by 21 points. But I go back to Arkansas's first 5 drives: punt, interception, punt, fumble. Louisiana Tech offense does nothing after their defense gets those stops. And so I think it's a matter of, can you potentially stop this LSU juggernaut offense? Can you somehow get Garrett Nussmeier to make a mistake? Can you find a way to intercept the ball and return it a couple yards and get inside LSU territory? And you have to take advantage of opportunities. Again, it was encouraging to see this defense have 3 takeaways last week, but at the same time, you only score 7 points after 3 takeaways. So if Louisiana Tech wants any opportunity to beat LSU, for one, they have to force them into turnovers. And then number 2, they have to take advantage of the opportunities that the defense gives them. I think that's frankly the only way. I think if these teams just match up and go blow for blow, I don't see how this Louisiana Tech offense can possibly match LSU. I think it definitely is going to have to be LSU's offense gives Louisiana Tech extra possessions, and then Louisiana Tech has to take advantage of those opportunities.
Are they a bowl team?
Man, I predicted them to go, bowling, in the preseason, just given how easy their first 6 games are. But I'll be honest, the offensive performance in week 1 definitely scared me. Again, it's only one game. I'm not going to make grand conclusions. I certainly feel like the rest of the schedule bodes them well, that they can make a bowl game. But this offense would have to show major improvement, for them to do that. But as of right now, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I did have them going 7-5 in the regular season. I think just the schedule bodes so well. You get the 3 best teams in the league coming to your home field, and then your first 3 league games are New Mexico State, UTEP, and Kennesaw State. Like, you should be 3-0 in league play entering the middle of October. So I think Louisiana Tech definitely has a path to a bowl game.
Matt Bellinson, Ruston Leader, covers the Bulldogs. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Talkin' Tigers. Presented by Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care, with 14 locations, caring for communities near you and always available at lakeurgentcare.com. Talkin' Tigers. Offensive line, Josh Thompson.
One of the biggest, focal points for us coming into the season was to grow our unity, right? It's a bunch of new faces, and to be a good offensive line, you have to be a tight unit. And that was something that we really, really wanted to focus on because it was a bunch of new faces. So we made sure to spend a lot of time together, do things outside of the facility, and that was really big for us. And I'll say, one of the coolest things, especially after playing a lot of football and being able to see the big picture of it all, is seeing how much we were able to grow in that offseason. Not just, from a relationship standpoint, but in how we played. You can see the difference from spring to now of what guys are doing and the talent that we have in that room. And, I'm proud of what we've been able to do.
Cornerback Mansour Delane.
It was just a step, and the main goal. And I feel like you can't really get caught up into just one victory like that because, it's a great win for the program, but that's not the goal that, we're out here aspiring for. Because if you're aspiring to win at Clemson, then you're going to come in today complacent and you're not looking to get better or whatnot. So if your goal is to win a championship, you're always going to have that mindset to keep going, keep pushing yourself to be better. And like I said, this week we're on LA Tech, so Clemson in the past.
Linebacker West Weeks.
For me, it's all about communication, especially being in the middle. So I got to talk to the D-line every play. I got to talk to the secondary. So it's obviously a big deal for me, and kind of being on the same page with Coach Baker, getting in extra, doing a lot of extra stuff with him, and getting on the same page, that helps a lot with the communication with the defense.
Running back Caden Durham.
I'm more knowledgeable to the game, knowing what's going to happen in different fronts, or when I see different defenses, just being more, have a better IQ to the game.
Offensive line. Talkin' Tigers, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care, with 14 locations, caring for communities near you and always available at lakeurgentcare.com. Talkin' Tigers. Offensive line, Josh Thompson.
One of the biggest, focal points for us coming into the season was to grow our unity, right? It's a bunch of new faces, and to be a good offensive line, you have to be a tight unit. And that was something that we really, really wanted to focus on because it was a bunch of new faces. So we made sure to spend a lot of time together, do things outside of the facility, and that was really big for us. And I'll say, one of the coolest things, especially after playing a lot of football and being able to see the big picture of it all, is seeing how much we were able to grow in that offseason. Not just, from a relationship standpoint, but in how we played. You can see the difference from spring to now of what guys are doing and the talent that we have in that room. And, I'm proud of what we've been able to do.
Cornerback Mansour Delane.
It was just a step, and the main goal. And I feel like you can't really get caught up into just one victory like that because, it's a great win for the program, but that's not the goal that, we're out here aspiring for. Because if you're aspiring to win at Clemson, then you're going to come in today complacent and you're not looking to get better or whatnot. So if your goal is to win a championship, you're always going to have that mindset to keep going, keep pushing yourself to be better. And like I said, this week we're on LA Tech, so Clemson in the past.
Linebacker West Weeks.
For me, it's all about communication, especially being in the middle. So I got to talk to the D-line every play. I got to talk to the secondary. So it's obviously a big deal for me, and kind of being on the same page with Coach Baker, getting in extra, doing a lot of extra stuff with him, and getting on the same page, that helps a lot with communication with the defense.
Running back Caden Durham.
I'm more knowledgeable to the game, knowing what's going to happen in different fronts, or when I see different defenses, just being more, have a better IQ to the game.
Offensive line, Josh Thompson.
The biggest thing that we've been able to do is get rid of that idea of satisfaction, right? You can appreciate the good things that you did, but you can't stick on them. It's on to the things that you need to fix, and that constant grasp for knowledge and that constant grasp for, getting better in technique or whatever the case may be, and understanding concepts. It's just, I think our consistent aptitude for growth is something that I've really took to, and a lot of guys took to, and that's, something we're going to continue to do, and why I think we're going to get a lot better as the season continues.
Cornerback Mansour Delane.
Chemistry in the back end, I think is real good because, we meet without the coaches, we don't even have to, obviously we meet the coaches too, but when we have our free time, we text each other, see when everyone's free. We sit down, grab some food, and just go over film. What do you see, what do I see? And then the game is easy at that point.
Linebacker West Weeks.
For a defensive standpoint, I know that Nichols game last year was not too fun for us. I think we gave up 200 yards rushing or something like that. So we've been watching a little bit of that film just to kind of get that fire going for us and not let that happen again to us this year.
Running back, Caden Durham.
Keeping the main thing. You know, I want to know the goal, so we got to go 1-0 every week. So for us to keep on going, being 1-0, we got to keep intensity high. We can't switch down to their level or bring our level down just because we're playing LA Tech. You know, we got to keep the level high regardless of who we play.
Offensive line, Josh Thompson.
Our opponents are nameless and they're faceless. You know, we're focused on us and our process, and it was great to, start the season 1-0, but we're on LSU Tech. Our goal is to go 1-0 this week, and that's, our focus is on us, and, we're going to this game with that same mentality as last week.
Cornerback, Mansour Delane.
Learning from Coach Raymond, he helped me with a lot, just the basics, not even nothing crazy, no secret sauce, just getting back to my basics, my fundamentals, and playing the game the right way. And clearly he's done that for many others, so it's paying dividends.
Talking Tigers, Eagle 98.1, Game Day.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized, it'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making.
98.1.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 21-12681, offices in Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1, WDGL and HC1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Inside the stadium. Presented by Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Financing all things country.
LaBerge Casino countdown to kickoff, about 2 hours and 30 minutes or so. ESPN Bet at LaBerge, your game day headquarters, and we check in with the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. Chris, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great, guys. Good to be back home, and good to be right here in the shadow of Tiger Stadium for a football Saturday. And looks like Tiger fans pretty excited after last week's win, those that made the trip, those that watched on TV, and so it looks like they're ready to put their eyeballs on this team for the first time.
Hard not to be excited after what happened last week. Chris, what were your big takeaways from LSU's season opening win?
Well, I said it all week. That 3rd down and 8 on Clemson's opening drive with, the corner blitz that when you go back and watch it, I mean, it was textbook, everybody doing what they needed to do for P.J. Woodland to get back there. And I just felt like that one play early in the game kind of said, this is who we are defensively. And as it turned out, that was the aggressive nature that we all thought. Blake Baker, that's his philosophy. And now he's got some of the tools to be able to dial those up and stay very aggressive. And that's really, I think, the biggest takeaway. The second thing is I really love the play calling and the creativeness on offense to utilize the playmakers wherever they be lined up, prior to the snap, whether it be the orbit motion. I thought Garrett Nussmeier was putting on a masterclass on attacking zone coverage. He had Clemson's middle defense kind of guessing all night long. And even on some of the incompletions where Clemson's quarterbacks or safeties made a decent pass breakup, it still was a great throw. I mean, probably the best throw, one of the best throws of the weekend was the one that the officials wouldn't give him a touchdown for. But so those are kind of my two takeaways. I think if this defense looks like they did last week, they're going to be trouble for everybody that's on their schedule the rest of the way, starting tonight for Louisiana Tech. And I think when you've got the depth and that much talent on offense, being creative, and I got to suspect Alex Atkins, who I've known for a long time, had a big part in a lot of their counter run plays. That's what he's known for. And I think that run game is going to get better. So I like just about everything I saw. I know it was only a 17-10 win, but I give Clemson. I think Clemson's going to be, a pretty good team when all is said and done.
You've been around Brian Kelly a pretty good bit in the last month, multiple shows and interviews. This 1-0 theme has been going on all summer, really all spring and all summer. Now that that's over, it seems like, okay, well, you know what? We'll just stay with that, because the real danger was if you went 0-1, that might have been emotionally tough to get back from. Now that they're 1-0, I think he knows he's got a good hand, Chris. Now it's just a matter of pushing the right buttons with the group that you got.
Absolutely. I mean, that was kind of the big story. We pulled into Clemson last week, got off the bus, guys went in, came out for a little stretching, and pregame warm-up had the 1-0 T-shirts. And I know a lot of the talking heads around the country thought that was a slight at Clemson, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. And if you've been around the football building since January, actually, that's kind of been the mantra. But it wasn't just for the opening game. I know that was important, and that was a huge storyline, and they can talk about it leading up. They got to talk about something for all summer long. But, yeah, that was the mentality. And I thought, Wes Weeks kind of explained that in the media session this week, that's what they're going to do every week. So, hey, we went into Clemson wanting to go 1-0. We get the win 17-10. Guess what? We come in this week, we want to go 1-0 against Louisiana Tech. And, again, you can pick up a theme here. That'll be the mantra regardless coming up on Monday as they prepare for next week.
And by the way, can I just say that I thought that national narrative about that being a slight to Clemson was complete BS. I watched Nick Saban for 17 years at Alabama and 5 here talk about nothing but the next game. And nobody ever said peep about that. Bill Belichick in 22 years in the National Football League. I'm not going to talk about Monday night. But in the National Football League, talk about nothing but the next game. So I thought that was selective groaning by some of the national talking heads because it was Brian Kelly. And if you don't like him, then just come out and say it. Don't make something up. Chris, I kind of thought that was borderline unfair for most of the summer when they said that.
Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, I thought the same thing, Charlie. I thought, is this the first time I've heard a coach say, let's go 1-0 this week?
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be the first game of the season. I think my coach said that in middle school. So,
right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was something they could tag on to for the very reason that you pointed out. But obviously the folks there, the T-shirt company over there in Chapel Hill, they messed up. They had 0-1 instead of 1-0.
Yeah. Chris, every year when we come back come to the home opener, they always seem to do a little something to spruce things up in Tiger Stadium, add something, fix something, replace something. What the fans that are coming in here tonight, what are they going to see?
Well, I don't know if anybody was paying attention earlier today. There's a few slight changes. I think one of the big things that this administration has talked about for a number of years, and it's something I applaud them for, is how to make the fan experience better. It all starts with having a good team and people wanting to come see your game and see your team. And, I think everybody, like I said earlier, feels that way. They got the optimism right now. But how do you make every little touch point the university has and the athletic department has, make things easier? We're limited with parking and we're limited with traffic. I understand that. But there's a new kid zone from Our Lady of the Lake, because sometimes when you bring the little kids, as much as they love football, 3.5, 4 hours can, start to take its toll. So on the west side, underneath bottom concourse, there's going to be a lot of activities to do for kids. So that's a new addition. Field looks great. I actually got to walk it a little bit yesterday afternoon, and the folks have done a tremendous job on that. So I think the field looks fantastic. And again, when your team's winning, as they say, winning cures all. So hopefully that's going to keep them coming back this season.
All right, we'll pass the baton at the bottom of the hour to you guys on the network. What's coming up on Network Pregame?
We're excited to have Matt Borman, of course, the leader of TAF. He's going to join the guys and kind of talk about where TAF, sits, what their initiatives are, in this new landscape of college football. I think a lot of people think, okay, wait a minute, it's NIL, which obviously is very important. But there's also something to enhancing those fan experiences, whether it be at Tiger Stadium, the Maravich Center, the projects that are in the pipeline down the line. So it's exciting to have Matt on there to kind of, again, tell you what it is TAF is working for. And then Hunt's going to bring on Matt Ballinson. He's the scout reporter for Louisiana Tech. So we'll learn a little bit about this Bulldogs club, which is, it's kind of hard at this moment. I know you guys watched the game last week against Southeastern. Credit them for a shutout, 24-0. But when you've got a head coach who was a quarterback in the air raid, and you've got an offensive coordinator in Tony Franklin who wrote the book, and teaches classes coming from Hal Mummy and Mike Leach. And, they attempted 18 passes last week. So I don't know what to expect coming into this game, but we're going to find out from Matt and Hunt coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Chris, have a good call, and we'll talk to you next week when the Florida Gators come to town to open SEC play.
The best news is it's here in Baton Rouge, not in Gainesville.
Heard that.
That goes double for me. Thanks a lot, Chris. We appreciate it. Kentucky gets a field goal to make it now Ole Miss 14 and Kentucky 13. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half in Lexington. We're brought to you by Supreme Rice. If you're going tailgating, look, this is the first of 3 consecutive home games for LSU. Come on out and get your Supreme Rice here at Rouse's and all of your participating supermarkets around town. But right here at Rouse's, it's a nice, easy ride over to Tiger Stadium. Get the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, the jasmine, or the new parboiled rice that is exceptional restaurant quality rice. Put it for your red beans, your white beans, your jambalayas, your etouffees. Whenever you make rice, make it with Supreme Rice to support our Louisiana farmers. Since the 1930s, down in southwest Louisiana, all of our Supreme Rice is grown, milled, and processed right here in the state. And they're part of the Climate Smart program that promotes water conservation and promotes reducing methane emissions. For more information and great recipes, check it out at supremerice.com. We'll take a break, come back, get you up to date on all the scores. That is next, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln on airline under the giant American flag.
But that's the math on it. What?
So we think that the Eagles are going to come in third then?
No, me? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Of course not.
Because you kind of sounded like that's what you were setting up.
Yes.
Please turn that off. Thank you. We got inclement weather on the East Coast, so we got multiple games in delays. Navy leads UAB 21-14. That one is in a delay. Georgia Clemson in the first quarter trails Troy 7-0. That is in a delay. Number 4 Georgia 14-3 over Austin Peay. That is in a delay. All of those games are in the first half. Oregon, number 6 team in the country, leading Oklahoma State. 41-3. That is not a final. There's still 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Something to keep an eye on, too, Hanny. I don't know if you noticed when we were coming back in. Dante Moore, Oregon's quarterback, is on the sideline right now being attended to by trainers. He had a towel over his head. On the run he made that set up their latest touchdown, an offensive lineman fell on his knee. Or, excuse me, a defensive lineman fell on his knee late after he was already down. Here we go. They're going to show the replay right here. He comes in right there.
Ooh, yikes. Okay.
So that's definitely something to monitor in that ball game now.
Of everybody I've seen so far through a week and a half, I guess, they're the scariest group I've seen yet. Yeah, Moore was a 5-star recruit. They got speed all over the place. They do some unorthodox things, and they're very, very good. And they are making a Power 4 opponent here look absolutely helpless. And this is not unexpected. They were 4-touchdown favorite, and they're going to blow past that. But you're right. That does not look good. Yeah, that's an ugly-looking injury. That would change everything because Moore is off to a phenomenal start.
I would not put him back in this football game.
Absolutely
there's
not.
No chance.
I'd take his helmet away.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Temple leads Howard 55-7. That's in the fourth quarter. New Mexico leads Idaho State 17-16 in the fourth quarter. Ohio State leads Grambling 35-0. This is what I'm talking about, okay? They're leading Oklahoma State by the same thing Ohio State's leading Grambling by. Ole Miss leads Kentucky 14-13. They're at the 2-minute warning there. The Rebels had the ball at the Kentucky 29-yard line, looking at 3rd down and 7. Number 22, Tennessee leads East Tennessee State 48-7. That's at the half. Kansas and Missouri are at the half, tied at 21. Fresno State leads Oregon State 20-15. They're about 20 seconds to the half there. Georgia Tech leads Gardner-Webb 28-6. Cincinnati leads Bowling Green 21-3 at the end of 3. Colorado leads Delaware 17-7. That's at the half. Also at the half, App State leads Lindenwood 14-6. Texas State leads UTSA 19-14. Western Michigan leads North Texas 17-7. Buffalo leads St. Francis 24-0. Wisconsin leads Middle Tennessee 7-3. Luke Fickell is.
It's not going well.
It's not. Middle Tennessee is actually leading on the yardstick here. I expected Wisconsin to be better under Fickell than they have been through the last 2 seasons. Ohio leads West Virginia 10-7. Wyoming leads Northern Iowa 14-7. Florida leads South Florida 6-3. That's about midway through the second quarter. DJ Lagway has opened up 10 of 14 for 73 yards. Wake Forest leads Western Carolina 21-0. Rutgers leads Miami of Ohio 10-7. Arkansas leads Arkansas State 14-0. 5 minutes in. Sacramento State leads Nevada 7-0, and Southern Miss leads Jackson State 7-0. Those games are just underway. Earlier finals today. Number 2, Penn State blanked Florida International 34-0. Number 7, Texas beat San Jose State 38-7. Arch Manning threw 4 touchdown passes. Number 11, Illinois beat Duke 45-19. Number 14, Florida State beat East Texas A&M, formerly Texas A&M Commerce.
Oh, okay. I was actually curious. I'm like, I've never heard of East Texas A&M before.
Give Alondra credit on that one. She tipped me off to that. 77-3 was the final there. Number 16, Iowa State beat Iowa 16-13. 55-yard field goal was the difference there. Baylor in 2 overtimes beat number 17 SMU on the road 48-45. Number 19, Texas A&M beat Utah State 44-22. A&M gets Notre Dame next week. Number 23, Indiana beat Kennesaw State 56-9. Number 24, Texas Tech beat Kent State 62-14. Minnesota blanked Northwestern State 66-0. They shortened that one because of rain. They played about 51 minutes there. North Carolina State beat Virginia 35-31. It was Pitt over Central Michigan 45-17. Syracuse beat UConn 27-20 in overtime. Fran Brown had his team running sprints after the game.
Love it.
Gotta love that old school. Hey, you won the game, but you didn't play well. Line up on the goal line.
Yeah.
Goal. Jacksonville State beat Liberty 34-24, and that is your college football scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll hear what Richard Dixon thinks about tonight's game. When we return, we'll wrap it up here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're
98.1 Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Keys to the V. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill.
Let's bring in my co-host on the post-game, former tight end Richard Dixon. Rich, give me some things you're looking for tonight against Louisiana Tech.
Man, I just want them to keep to the theme and keep to everything that they're talking about in the press. This is a nameless, faceless opponent. I'm just worried about ourselves, get better every week. And I want to see want to see that come to fruition. I don't want to see a lot of these guys playing past midway through the third quarter.
One of the things we looked at in film study this week, which you can get on YouTube right now on the Handycast, the combination blocks on the edge. They did a good job, but there was some room for improvement there as the communications that we talk about on that offensive line become a little bit more, they get a little bit more comfortable with each other. This is still a new group working together. Looking for some of that tonight.
Yeah, I hope that, that's part of the game plan. Let's go out there. The plays that, we executed pretty well, but we didn't go out there and have a great execution. But let's go out there and work those things in this game. Let's get some more practice at it, and let's get it going. All
right. The other thing on defense, we saw that big rotation up on that defensive line. We saw a lot of guys play in the secondary. Some different wrinkles that we might see tonight. I'm not sure what Louisiana Tech's going to do different than what they did in week one. Their air raid coaches that didn't really throw the ball all that much last week.
Yeah, look, they're going to go out there and try to get their game plan going. They have an identity. They practice all camp long about what they wanted to do. They're going to try to get it going tonight regardless of the opponent, and I think that, it's just going to be another, I'm not calling it a practice, but this is a big step forward to correct things that you had issues with last week.
10 targets, I think, for the tight ends last week. Try to contain your envy.
Life's good for them, I tell you that much. I got 5 in the game. It was a freaking hell of a week.
Rich, we'll check in with you for post-game 90 minutes after. Thanks a lot.
I'm in. All
right, Musso, your thoughts as we come down the stretch here.
Man, for me, I really wanted to see there's Syracuse running sprints. Sorry. I really want to see LSU come out with the same intensity. That's the deal. Brian Kelly, what's been interesting to me, he's brought up that Nichols game a couple times this week from last year where they didn't come out fired up and they played a close first half. You don't want to see that at all this week. I want to see LSU go out there and dominate like you're supposed to. And like Dixon just said, get your guys out of there midway through the second quarter so we can start to see some of these young guys. That's intriguing. It's going to be fun to watch Garrett Nussmeier pad stats. But let's see Harlan Berry. Let's see Ashton Stamps.
A little cleaner on special teams would be good as well. Last week, I had some rookie mistakes, and hey, that's part of it when you're playing your first game of the season. So a little bit cleaner on special teams, and let's see what we can do about getting some of those. I don't want to say. It's second team guys. Some of these guys that have played a lot.
Some of the veterans.
Into the game, yeah. That's how it goes. Thanks to the folks here at Rouse's, your game day headquarters. They want to cover your pregame spread here at Rouse's. From the Chop House, the bakery, the Mongolian Grill, tons of beer, wine, and spirits. They never run out of ice here. All of your tailgating needs here at Rouse's, corner of Burbank and Lee. We'll be back 90 minutes after the end of LSU and Louisiana Tech for postgame. Former Tiger Richard Dixon will join us. Now for Matt Musso, everybody back in the studio at the flagship, and all of us here at Rouse's, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the LSU Sports Radio Network. It's football time in Louisiana. Tonight, the Fighting Tigers begin their home slate by welcoming in the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech under the lights on a Saturday night in real Death Valley. This is